Have we all consigned ourselves to the point that this is going to be a shit show?
Hey, look, we're starting the show now. Okay, I've got to give my intro, and then we can talk about that once Grid gets his camera on. Welcome, one and all, to yet another episode of WIC TV. It's a cross-ideological space where we come together to talk about issues both political and cultural, from the silly to the serious. And gang, have we got a show for you? Later tonight, President Trump will be briefing joint sessions of Congress to talk about all sorts of things. Who knows? It's Trump. We don't know, right? But I wanted to have a debate, a discussion on the state of our union. Is it strong? How has Trump and his administration performed so far? How we doing? What's the state of our union, gang? And we're going to talk about that. I'm going to give each of these lovely, wonderful individuals a chance to introduce themselves and have some brief opening statements. And we will start with the lovely Visora. Go ahead. Give us what you got.
Oh, well, thank you. What's up? I'm Visora. I'm a streamer on Twitch. I talk about politics and sometimes some social issues. I'm a libertarian socialist. And as for the state of our union, I think our union is in a lot of trouble. I don't think it's in any good state at all. As you can see, the economy from today and from yesterday, as well as a lot of other social issues, law-related issues, ignoring of the courts, as well as some insane shit with Elon in the federal government and the treasury. Everything is bad. We've just dropped all of our alliances with Europe and are now allied with Russia. The entire global order has flipped on its head, and it looks like we're coming out on the bottom. So That's my opening statement.
Well, thank you for being here, and we'll see how it goes. What do you got for us, Gibbs?
Hey, I'm AdmiralGibbs. You can find me everywhere as AdmiralGibbs. I host the Debate Championship Series and the Give Me a Break panel. Let's see. I gotta say, I want y'all to know my pronouns are I am correct. That is my pronoun. So if you disagree with me, you are wrong. And guess what? Here's the facts. America is on pace to be the greatest it's ever been, potentially. I'm so excited. It's like America is healing since Trump has gotten in office. Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down from Star Wars. We got all sorts of good shit going down. I'm excited to get into this and why Trump is goated. Thank you.
Okay, well, we will get into it, I'm sure. Thanks for being here. Next up, Ahrelevant, please.
Howdy. I'm Ahrelevant, Relevant on all platforms. As for the State of the Union, I think we are very much headed for disaster. I think we're already in a disastrous state. The weaponization of the DOJ and corrupt actions from the Trump administration has made this regime already a nightmare. People have felt the economic squeeze already, and based on the projections for the tariffs, it looks like it's going to get much worse. So, yeah, we're definitely not in a good state. We need to rein this in and figure out a way to, not have this get much worse. And I'm not sure there's much we can do. We just have to, just hope people come to their senses.
Oh, what a great strategy. But thank you for being here, and we will certainly get into it. Next up, first-time guest on my show. Hopefully not last time. We'll see. Grid Motorsports, what do you have for us, sir?
Yeah, I'm GRID1 Motorsports. I do commentary, interviews, and that sort of thing on my channel on YouTube. Don't do really much of anything on Twitch or Rumble. It's just kind of boring, so I pretty much stick to YouTube. And yeah, that's about what it is. As far as the State of the Union, I think definitely we're coming out of some shit. We're going to have to move forward into we're going to have to go through some more before it gets better. But I do see I see bright lights on the horizon. I think we're going to be okay. Yeah, I'm ready to get into it. Let's go.
Okay, and with that, let's get into it. I guess let's start with one of the big questions on my mind, the economy. We've seen projections come out that in the first quarter we're going to have a GDP drop of about 2.8%. We have seen the Dow Jones lose over 1,000 points in the last 2 days. What's going on here? Gibbs, why is this a good state? Sell me on this.
See, listen, if you are an economic savant like I was one such as myself, then you will realize and you will know that stocks are just indicative of like a day-to-day feeling. They go up, they go down. I could tell somebody that tea was going up in China, and then semiconductors prices would go up in East Estonia. I mean, it doesn't really matter that much on a day-to-day basis. In fact, in the words of the great conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, I don't agree with a lot of what he says, but he did say something that's pertinent. Trump's going in there to clean out the swamp and get things back on track. I don't expect him to not to get shit up to his ankles. So whenever we've been sitting here dealing with all these unfair trade deals for such a long time, it's wonderful for him to come in here and slap some people around and get some deals done in our best interest. I don't like Trudeau today. I don't know why Trudeau wants to play chicken with a American grizzly that is our economy, but he's going to lose that battle. And I think that once again, it's wonderful that we're sitting here doing these things because they have been taking advantage of us. And I see a lot of people on the left sitting here screaming, "Woe is me." Well, I'm sorry. Sometimes the status quo needs to be shaken up, and the status quo has been real shitty for like a lot of Americans for a real long time. And it's wonderful now that someone's sticking up for those Americans.
It's an open discussion. Go ahead, gang. What do you think?
Okay. I just want to throw in there that the United States imports about $400 billion worth of goods from Canada every year,
Cool, what are
whereas
those goods?
Canada imports about $270 billion worth of goods, whereas much of the things that we in America can make require base raw materials that we also import from Canada, such as lumber for houses, such as steel for buildings.
I know something about this. Can I help you with the lumber thing? Because I actually know something about that.
No, go for it.
Yeah, so the Canadian companies got really pissed off back in the day because we did put a tariff on the lumber, and what ended up happening is that they actually found it cheaper to buy lumber area, basically acreage. Actually, in my state here in Tennessee, they quit that because it's cheaper for them to actually raise the trees in Brazil, South America, and they ship them into the U.S. So they've been paying tariffs anyway. So it doesn't really matter. I think that's a really great talking point, but it's a very poor thing in reality because it's just a Canadian company, and what they'll do is they'll just become an American company, and they won't have to pay the tariffs anymore. Gibbs is right. It's just business 101.
I disagree entirely. So first of all,
That's great.
those exact lumberers are happy that these tariffs are going through because it's going to create a larger economy in Canada that is separate from the United States. Secondly, that lumber that we import from Brazil, the specific grow the trees so we can cut them down for wood, that wood is shit. It's garbage. Everything we make with it is weak. It's
Actually, that's untrue too.
No,
Yeah,
it's not.
that's
Where do you get this? I mean, I
Because
literally,
the wood that is
literally
grown quickly to be cut and sold does not have the time to become as
straighter. So okay,
you can tell the difference between
just hold on. One at a time. Finish Visora, and then you can respond. So
if you cut a tree that is 100 years old, same kind of tree as the other one, right? You cut one and you make a wooden plank out of it. Then you raise a tree, the same kind of tree, and within 1 year, you cut that down and make a plank with it. Which of these planks is stronger? Are they the
you
same?
want us to cut 100-year-old trees
hold on.
down?
So let me.
No, I'm asking you a question.
It's shocking that we're
Do you
talking
think
about
that there's
lumber
a
here.
difference?
I will educate you if you'd like to learn.
I just want to know. Do you think there's a difference between?
No. If you'd like the truth of the matter, I'll be glad to help you.
Sure.
Tell
Go
us
for
the
it.
truth,
So,
Greg.
so
Tell
the
us the
reality is that the best white pine in America comes from Louisiana, where it grows really fast and really straight and not very knotty. It grows better in Brazil. Same reasons, because the all of the various things that go into, the reasons that trees and things grow really fast in the jungle and the rainforest. Very ideal conditions, I guess you would say. But now it's true that if we're looking at walnut or oak or hardwoods, which are very expensive, and we don't actually get very many of those from much of that from Canada, but we do get them from, say, Texas, where Gibbs lives, and Tennessee, where I live, and Georgia, where they grow. I got a walnut tree in front of my house. I'd love to get rid of, but
You get to answer my
that's
question.
very expensive wood, and you would be correct about that. If you try and grow a walnut tree in Brazil, it doesn't really work because it's a hardwood. Well, we're not talking about that. We're talking about construction lumber, and construction lumber is largely white pine. And white pine grows very fast, very straight, and with excellent grain structure in Brazil. I love
Okay.
talking
Is
points
there a
provided
difference?
by people who don't know anything about lumber industry, but
I
it's
love
great.
asking a question and getting a giant answer that has nothing to do with my question and still doesn't answer it. Is there
Hold
a
on, it
difference?
was a
Wait,
100% answer to
Is
the
there a
question.
difference between the white pine, the planks that you make from it? Is there a difference in quality between a 100-year-old
Yeah,
yes,
the
the
100-year-old one
Brazilian
is
stuff is
shittier.
better.
101-year-old one is shittier. Yeah, that's the difference.
Yeah, that tracks with what I think about you, Gibbs.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
just
Okay.
telling you.
Can I?
Let's get Ahrelevant in here. Go ahead. Give it a
What
try.
does this have to do with the fact that it's going to become more expensive to import? I don't know. You can talk about whether or not
Brazil
it's
doesn't
going to
have
come from
tariffs.
Brazil. It doesn't matter. It's going to be more expensive to import at end of the day.
But we're already
Because
importing
Canadian
from
companies
Brazil.
will do exactly what they did the last
Okay,
time
hold
this
on.
happened.
You just said we already import it,
That's not what they're doing.
and that's not an argument. We already import it.
Yeah, we're
It's
just
going
yeah.
to
It'll
the cost of it is
it'll
going
probably
to
be
increase.
cheaper.
Canadian
That's not an
companies
argument.
Canadian American
import-
jobs.
Canadian
Okay,
companies
hold
are
on,
not
hold on.
coming from
Everyone stop. One at a time, because you're all talking over each other. Ahrelevant, ask a question. I want to give. I see it, but I want to give Gibbs and Grid a chance to answer his question, and then we can get you in there, Visora. Okay. Ahrelevant, ask a question. Go ahead, answer him. Gibbs, go ahead, answer him. Answer the man.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I mean, it's real simple, right? We have evidence that last time we put tariffs on Canada, having companies move down. They moved down here to America, which opened up more jobs. Secondly, as Grid's already stated, basically the 100-year-old tree, it's shittier. I'm sorry, it's just shittier. And first of all, if you are actually eco-friendly, you probably don't want them cutting down 100-year-old trees. But hey, this is the party of the ecology over here.
God.
They want us to cut down 100-year-old trees for lumber instead of the fast-grown, better trees in Brazil.
What are you,
But hey,
woke?
what do I know? This is the real Einstein take over here.
What
But
are you,
since,
woke?
furthermore, yeah, I mean, we already know that they'll come to America when we've done tariffs. We've done it before. A bunch of companies already are considering moving to America. That brings
Name
jobs
one.
to, guess what?
Name
Americans. Name one. All right, cool. I got a list here. Let's
Name
go to
one.
6 of them.
Because Canadian companies.
KMPG. We got, let's see. I got a whole bunch of them. Just Google these. I got about 100 of them say they're about to move to America.
What are you
All you gotta do
Googling?
is Google. Companies planning on moving to America due to tariffs. I mean, it's not hard to look up. KPMG right there, specializing in tax and law. They're opening a new administration center in America. That's one right there. I mean, there's just I don't understand how you can even argue. This is how it works.
Tax
So,
law is not
two
always
quick
increasing
questions. So
manufacturing.
two quick questions off of that.
Really quickly, please. Let me just. What the fuck does tax law have to do with tariffs? Like a company that does tax law doesn't pay tariffs anyway.
Tariffs.
They're not paying tariffs doing
Okay.
tax law. They're not producing anything. But
Do
whatever.
you think that if you own a company in another country, because this is something I'm familiar with now, because I do have franchises in other countries. Do you think that if I have a franchise in, say, I don't know, Belgium or the UK, that they don't have to pay UK taxes or Belgian taxes?
No, of course they do. But do you think that has
Oh,
anything
of
to do
course
with
they
tariffs?
do. Yet it has to do a lot with U.S. law,
Hold on,
doesn't
exactly.
it?
What does that have to do with
Hold on,
tariffs?
if I may ask, because I'm confused now. Did Trump put tariffs on tax companies?
No, there's
Okay, so
companies
why are
moving
we
here
talking
because
about tax companies right now?
directly due to the tariffs, Wick? That was the question was asked. They're moving directly here,
How?
and that was just the first one I pulled up. How they're building offices here? They're moving their headquarters
There's no
here.
tariffs
I mean,
on them. Why is that connected? If there's no tariffs put on that company,
because it's a new industry, fam. It's a new industry.
Okay,
To be clear, we weren't talking about tax companies moving. We were talking about lumber companies moving.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you
just
just
let's
asked me to
make
name
that
one.
clear. Do you have a
You
list?
asked
Do you
me
have
to name one.
no?
That was
You
the first
were
one I
asked
was-
to name
how about-
a lumber
how about
company
how
that was
about
going to move to
Avanti-
America from
Avanti
Canada. That's what
Advanced
you were asked to
Manufacturing?
name.
Let me,
How
You
let
have
me
a
tell
list
you the
of some
truth.
Canadian lumber companies that are moving to America.
No. You didn't ask, nobody
Let
said
me tell
lumber.
you
This
the
is some
truth right
sneak
here.
That's
attack
was
bull-
the topic of the
Canadian
conversation.
bullshit.
If you weren't following, I mean, that's tough.
No. I'm sorry. You're not following. The question was name one company moving to the U.S. and I named one.
In the
I'll follow.
context
Here's another
of
one.
us talking
Here's
about
another
lumber,
one.
it was
Here's
us
another
talking
one.
about lumber.
GVA Lighting. How about JLD Epoxy Coating and Rebar? How about Micro Art Services Inc? How about
Okay, so
Related
I'm going to
Analytics
ask my
Global,
questions then.
LLC?
If
How
all
about
of these
Ursa Tech
incredibly
Tooling Technologies?
prestigious big
I think these
companies
are
are
all
moving over,
massive
if
companies.
all of
These
these
are massive
incredibly big
companies.
prestigious companies are moving over to the United
It's okay.
States,
You got
tell me
dunked
why
on. I understand,
economists,
you're
tell
mad.
me why the people who are investing money in the United States are pulling out.
Good question.
Why is the money
What
leaving? Why
cares?
is the money
Nobody cares.
leaving? If
Let
according
them
to you,
leave. Let
these
Americans
big,
get it.
huge billion-dollar, these huge companies, big companies are coming to
Like who?
America. Why
Like
is
who?
everyone pulling their money out, bro?
Who's leaving?
Why are they
Who's
pulling?
leaving?
What do you mean?
you looked at the
have
stock
you seen
market?
the stock market, bro? We've
It's
tanked.
one day of stocks. One day of
It's
stocks.
two,
How many
actually.
One day of
stocks-
stocks.
how many
It's
stocks
day
do
of
you
been
stocks.
own?
several days,
Hold
as
on,
well
hold on.
as
My stocks are up
projections.
Let
today.
Ahrelevant
as well as
finish. Let
That were
Ahrelevant
as
finish.
bad as 2000. The economic impact of just the last 2 days has already surpassed the 2008 financial crisis. You fucking moron.
Wow. Yeah, this just sounds like people that don't know how to invest. All my stocks are up, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I mean, listen,
Wait,
this
hold
you're
on.
talking
Which
about
stocks do you
overall
have?
down.
Yeah, which
Tesla's
stocks-
Don't worry
down.
about it.
Wait, are you like Elon Musk?
Tesla's
Tesla's
down.
down. What do you invest
I
in?
don't have
Nvidia's
Elon. I don't
down.
have Tesla stock. Don't worry about
Nvidia-
what
Wait, no.
Okay,
You
this-
just
everything's
said your
down.
stocks are up. Which stocks do you have? Tell me which
Don't
stock.
worry
Tell,
about
tell me your
it. So all of
portfolio,
them.
bro.
My portfolio
I can
says
tell you-
what's your
All of
portfolio?
them, then
Do you
you're
even have
down,
stock?
bro. The Dow
So all
Jones
I-
down. The
all I-
S&P down, bro.
fantastic.
What
The only
stocks do you
stocks that
have?
are up,
Do you think that just because the overall market's down, that every stock in the whole
No, I'm
market
asking
only
you.
stocks
You just
that are
said you
going
were
This is
up.
economy.
What do
101,
you have
economics
that's up?
101.
What do
Don't
you
worry
have
about
that's
it.
up?
What do you own a stock? Like at
Yeah,
home?
I
Well,
have money in the
what do you
S&P
own?
500. It's not doing
Cool.
well.
Oh well, that sucks. Get better fucking accountant, better.
The
fucking-
Yeah, I'm
only
looking for a better
stocks that
president
have
too.
gone
Now,
up.
you said you were up. You said you were up.
I'm
So tell me what you're up
I'm
on.
not gonna divulge all my.
Yeah, all right.
different-
Yeah, all right.
only
Okay,
stocks
all right.
that
All
have
right.
gone up.
Okay,
The
bro.
only stocks that
I mean,
have gone up
listen,
that are
this
U.S.
is not the first
companies
time here.
are
I've been
defense contractors.
that I have. I'm just not
Okay.
sitting here and litigate.
What do you have,
all
like
my
Novo Nordisk
portfolio.
and Wegovy?
Let's
What?
talk.
Defense stocks have gone up.
Yeah, defense stock, military.
And guess what? I probably own a lot of, huh?
But here's the
surprise,
deal.
surprise.
Okay.
Enjoy
We're
making
getting
your
beside
money
the
off
point
the,
a little
you know,
bit, right?
debts of
I
brown
guess
children.
let me just start with the baseline so we can kind of get where everyone is.
prisons.
Raise your hand if you think that the tariffs that Trump has applied to Canada and Mexico are going to be good for America, whether short-term, long-term, doesn't matter.
So. Yeah,
Okay,
I think
why?
so. Yeah,
Give us that
I think so.
argument, and then we'll. I'm going to give it to Grid. Give us your argument, and then we'll discuss it. Why are the Trump tariffs going to be, in your opinion, good for the economy, or good for America, I should say? Grid, you're up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was. I thought you said Gibbs.
Nope.
I apologize. I was maybe not paying attention. So overall, I think that when we look at tariffs, you have to really understand that every country in the world has a tariff on American goods going in, and we actually subsidize them bringing their goods here, which actually has hurt American manufacturing and production over the years. And it's a really bad thing, I think, especially when we're complaining about the loss of jobs. We're talking about not making things here, not building things here, not, when we're offshoring all of these various jobs, including tech jobs and that sort of thing, then tariffs start to make a lot of sense because you start buying at home. Now, we can argue, and I think unsuccessfully, but you could argue that the raw material aspect of it is a big deal. But we have a lot of raw materials here that we choose not to use because up until now, it's just being more convenient to have material that has been subsidized by the government brought in.
Can I
With
ask a
all of that
question?
ending and the raw material that we're offshore or onshoring from other countries being brought in, that makes American lumber again attractive. And again, I'm picking on lumber. I shouldn't. Well, let's just use American made fucking anything. Like silicon chips left Silicon Valley and went to Taiwan and Japan because they could just make them cheaper. And maybe now they can't. And now that now all of that production goes back to Silicon Valley. So
Can I
Clear,
ask
Biden
about-
stimulated domestic chip
Yes.
production. He spent a lot of money on that. That's Biden. By
Literally
the way. It's not
everything Trump
it's
is
Biden.
Well, actually, no.
credit- exactly, it is Biden.
Biden okayed that move.
I have a question, though. A real
offshoring
question, please.
chip manufacturing. Trump denied it the first time and said no. Can't do
Like,
that.
understand, I agree with you that under normal economic circumstances, this would bring jobs to America, right? Now, here's my
You
question.
just don't
for
like
you.
Trump.
No, here's my actual question for
That's
you.
it.
Okay.
If goods are produced in the United States by American workers, those goods will cost more to buy as a purchaser. Like if you buy a shirt from Shein for $2, that's a different cost than if you go to an American-made clothing manufacturer and you buy a shirt from them. Now, what I'm asking you is
Oh, no,
what
take it, Shein.
policies are in place that will ensure that your wages will go up enough that you will be able to afford the increased cost in the goods that now have to be manufactured in the United States? Is there any policy, is there any talk, any mention of raising your wages in any way? Instead of like just
Well,
creating
First
jobs
of all,
is
the
one
government
thing.
doesn't control wages. That would be communism if they did, and we don't have that as a form of
Amen.
government.
We have a federal minimum
Wait, the
wage.
minimum wage?
Yeah, I mean,
Well-
that is socialist tendencies right there.
Well, the federal
Totally
minimum,
clear.
nobody
Sure.
actually gets paid the minimum wage, bro.
That's
Yes,
not
they
true
do.
at all.
In Alabama, as to my knowledge, in Alabama, you
Wait,
get paid
what's
the
the-
minimum
hold on.
wage.
That's fine.
Hold
but what's
on,
the cost
dude,
of living
the
in
guy-
The
Alabama?
state
guy
minimum
making
wage
burgers
is
at Chick-fil-A is
lower
More
than
than
the federal minimum wage.
$7.25 per
What are
hour
you
can give you.
talking about?
But like, here's my
What is the
question.
cost of living in
Is it?
Alabama?
Why would your wages go up?
Cost of
Why
living
would
is
your
low.
wages go up? In any
Oh,
way.
there you
Okay, so
go.
hold on.
Fuck the government. Give me any
You guys
reason why
just
your
said
wages would
minimum
go up.
wage, and I refuted that by saying nobody makes it. The guy working at Chick-fil-A can't hire people at $14 an hour. Federal minimum wage is what, $7.50?
7.25, yeah. But like, forget that.
7.25?
Forget
Okay,
the
I think
minimum
even
wage.
McDonald's
double
offers
minimum
14.50
wage,
now.
and
Take the
so
government out of it.
and
Why
and
would it
they
happen?
literally can't even hire people at that because there's so many jobs where they can make more money.
Yeah,
are you
McDonald's
talking
is
about?
average. McDonald's average pay is like $14.50 now.
Okay,
They literally
so if you get
advertise
rid
that
of
on other
minimum
things. So minimum wage is a non-factor. This is just a
Sure.
lefty
Okay.
bullshit.
Why would your
talking
wages
point.
go up then? If we take minimum wage out of it, why would
do
your
you
wages
understand
go
how
up?
the free market works? The free market.
Yes, I do. I do
Yeah.
actually.
So it's called
Do you
supply
understand
demand.
how? Do you understand how capitalism works? A
I do.
CEO's
I'm
job
quite good
is
at it.
literally a CEO has fiduciary responsibility to make sure that the stockholders, the actual like people that they work for, gain as much as possible, which means
Yes.
there is incentive to pay you as little as possible, which has been
No, no.
evidentiated for literally
You've heard
decades. If you can't
listen,
agree
have you
with
ever heard the
that, then you
expression,
literally don't live in
You're
reality.
wrong. You're wrong because there's also an expression, and this is a age-old business expression. You get what you pay for, right? It's called you get what you pay
That's
for.
true.
And so if you hire quality people and pay them market value or better than market value, guess what? You retain better people and your business thrives. This is age-old business tactics 101. This is what I do in my business.
Yeah.
I don't pay my
In a
people
normal
a minimum
economic
wage.
system.
No. I don't pay my people below minimum wage. I don't pay my people shit. My goal is to make them as rich as possible. And guess what? I have a like 80% higher retention rate than almost any other company in my industry. That's why, like, it's just really that simple. So you're just arguing these things that are
This is
unequivocally not
bullshit,
true.
because you are not a manufacturer. You don't own a fucking factory. We're talking
Well, I
about
am a manufacturer. I'm a
manufacturing.
cattle manufacturer.
All,
I do.
all you produce is grift. So, like, what are we talking about? Physical goods.
Grift.
I actually own a
grift. I own a
actually own a
ranch. I
factory.
produce cattle. Like I also do B2B sales. I own multiple businesses. So yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. What do you produce other than bullshit? I actually produce beef. It's what's for dinner. Might have heard that one before. What do you
Oh,
produce?
you know that's bad for your testosterone levels, did you? I don't
Hey, it's
produce
still good to
anything.
eat.
Okay.
This is
I'm
my
just
job.
also-
We are far off
Hold
the
on,
beaten
hold on.
path.
I
Grid,
again,
okay,
produce
Grid, I'll
content.
give it to you, but we are. I want to stick on tariffs, but go ahead, Grid.
Yeah, so I actually buy and sell companies, and I own. I can't actually tell you exactly what, and I can't really talk. You know, so I was really quiet when we started talking about stocks because I legally can't talk about stocks in a public setting because I have insider information, so I can't do that. Even in general terms, I don't risk that. But one of the things is that why do you think that a company pays more for good help? because it increases production. Because only the lowest level of jobs get paid shitty. And I'm just going to take a welder for example. Right now, I know I can buy a welder for $14.50 to $16 an hour, but he's going to be a shitty ass welder and probably not going to show up every day. And I need shit done. So I pay up to $40 an hour for a welder. Sit there and weld. That's blue collar as it gets, baby.
Okay,
You
what
know,
does
so
this
I
have to
don't
do with
know-
tariffs?
I honestly don't understand how you guys talk about corporate
So
when you have no idea. Have you ever employed anybody? I've employed people. I've written out the taxes. I've written out the checks to the government.
Yep.
The reason, you know why you don't see very many like true leftist business people is because they have to sign the fucking check to the government.
No, it's because we don't believe in it, you idiot. That's why I don't know. It's
Let's
because
give
we
it-
think it's
That's
immoral.
why, well, that's so you don't want to live off our teeth.
Yeah,
I
you've never
see.
employed anybody because you can't.
Let's give it
It's
to Irrelevant.
immoral.
He was trying to get in here.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
so to be clear, you guys are talking about, oh yeah, they're going to just pay their workers more or whatever. You understand, even still, if that was the case, that's going to make it so consumers also have to spend more on these products. You act like it's a perfect
And
dance
their
and that
wages
there's
need
going to
to
be a
go up, too.
perfectly adjusted
Zero-sum
wage
game in it.
for everything. There's a reason why it's harder for people to afford education, housing, and things like this over time. Your guys' philosophy is that it should be perfect. Your ability to afford a home is the same as it was in the 50s as it is today. Laughable. Absolutely laughable. Your ability to buy a vehicle, your ability to afford an education. No, I'm not done. Your ability to afford an education.
Let
Let
Irrelevant finish. Let Irrelevant
is
finish.
not nearly as affordable for average people in even average households as it was in the past. This just mythical idea, oh, businesses make money and they'll just pay us proportional over time. It's just not true. Anybody with Google can prove it's not true. Not even Google. Anybody who's been alive for longer than 20 years can prove that.
I mean, what's really
Pickup
crazy
trucks
about this
went up
is these are all problems that the
$20,000
left
today.
caused.
The cost
No, no, no.
of pickup
Gibbs,
trucks
Gibbs,
went up
Gibbs,
$20,000
Gibbs.
today. Where's the money going to come from for an American who wants to go buy a Ram 1500 to pay the extra 20 grand?
Home buyer in the 50s was. What do you think the average age?
I'm sorry,
What
say
about
again?
the average wage?
What do you think was the average age of the average home buyer in the 50s?
I don't know what the average
I think they
age
were
of the average
21,
home buyer
22,
was,
23.
but I do know that the
think they were
average
30,
individual was
35,
more
40?
as a percent of their wage, they were more capable of affording a house than they are today.
Well, whose fault
By
is
the way,
that? Well,
that
hold on, I'll
age
let
is
Grid finish.
56
I'll let Grid
now.
finish. I want to.
I mean, I think it's a mixture. I'm not going to say it's only Republicans' fault.
Well,
Is that
I'll tell
what
you
you're
the fault
voting
it is.
for?
I mean, 16 of the last 20 years we've had which president? We've had a Democrat, right? So yeah,
For
it is-
60
it is-
years,
it-
we haven't had one
16,
president for 60
1-6,
years, I'm afraid.
160,
Say-
1-6 for 16 of the last 20. Yes, 16 of the last 20
Okay.
years we've had a Democrat president, correct?
Sure.
Okay,
This goes back
so-
to Reagan.
Hold on. Okay, just follow my logic. And now, the reason why the economy's in the dog shit and nobody can fucking buy anything is because of meddling in the economy by Democrats with overregulation and
No.
bad trade deals
Let me
and bad
tell you
foreign
straight up.
policy. This is
The
facts.
problem
It's
right now
101.
is your
It's that simple. You
laissez-faire
can't sit here and
attitude.
blame. You can't
It's
sit here and
Reagan.
blame Trump and all these other people when we're sitting here trying to fix the mess y'all have had 16 years of the last 20. Do
I
it. Just
blame
all
Reagan.
y'all have
I
free
blame
reign.
Milton
Y'all been fucking.
Friedman.
Oh,
I
we're
blame
Reagan, bro.
I-
Reagan was
yes.
30 years ago, bro.
Yeah,
Like 40
no.
years ago.
Let me
Reagan
try
started
this.
Like-
with Friedman.
Reagan,
I
like-
blame him. I blame Bill Clinton. I blame George Bush. I blame Obama. I blame Trump. I blame all of them because it's all laissez-faire economics that is harmful to humanity. It's anti-human. Your ideology is literally
This
a
is
death
socialism.
cult. It's
That's right.
anti-human.
She said that.
You want people to suffer so you can gain from it, but
What
you're
about
not
you,
even
Papa?
aware that that's your ideology.
Yes, listen. Well, all right. You're socialist. I got it. You're a purist. What about you, Papa? Let's talk about reality. What is your thoughts on that?
Purist, yes, sure.
You're gonna have to Papa. Who are you referring to?
Oh, I was looking to. I can't see his name. Irrelevant. Is that his name?
Irrelevant. He called
No.
you Daddy. Go ahead, Daddy.
I mean,
Yeah, I call everybody Papa. Yeah, everybody Papa. Papa,
all she was saying is that there's mechanisms by which people are responsible for these things. If you want to get into like whether or not those exact things that they're critiquing are socialist, you probably have to break them down. But I personally, for the reason that we're in this economic state, I wouldn't say that there's one particular thing, frankly, because I'm not fucking stupid. So I'm not going to blame just specifically Democrats or just specifically Republicans. What we are talking about right now, the context of this, is Trump tariffs, and that there is economists, very educated individuals, spent their entire lives looking into these things, looking that the projections are not good. The projections are not where you're claiming they are. Right. And also, again, the stock market that we can materially see isn't in a good place. Also, when people are going to the grocery store, they're seeing stuff, they're seeing stuff that they don't like. They're seeing prices they don't like. So when you talk about the consumers, they're seeing stuff they don't like. We're talking about the experts, they're seeing stuff they don't like. And the investors are seeing stuff they don't like. I feel like you're trying to sell me that the sky is green. The sky is blue, brother.
So here's the thing. What's really interesting is now that I've been looking at this, is it's this is only a 4-month low. It's the low since October. So we've had gains up until then. So we've had one little hiccup now that's happened, which is to
the S&P erased all its gains.
I don't know if you know this, but usually these things kind of go like this. And then they go up, there's little dips and hedges. But, I don't know if you...
Yeah, do you think economists don't know that? So when they're making projections, they're just like, they totally forgot about the boom and bust cycle? You think they just, whoops, I forgot about like a fundamental
of capitalism.
Y'all are sitting here screaming, woe is us. That the market is basing its decisions off of extreme fear.
With net gains, Trump has been there with net gains up until today, and y'all are sitting here going doom and gloom.
And all of those were erased today.
When y'all's best guy, Biden, had it at this point in October. So it's after
every game that you're mentioning was erased today.
I'm just saying, wow, it's one little thing, and overall, it's not bad. It's just like most of this is just about projections. Projections don't mean nothing. Results.
You believe in reality. The market is moving based off of extreme fear, according to the fear index. All of the gains that the market made since Trump got elected, going back to even November, have been erased just today. So, you're making shit up because all of that's gone. It's all gone. You think the line the line does zigzag sometimes, but occasionally the line goes really fucking far down.
You realize that, right? Hold on.
What did the Great Depression start with? Back to fuck 2008.
The Great Depression?
Yeah, it started because of tariffs, banking instability, and social... Literally, you people are destroying the economy. You have no idea. You're killing yourselves. You are harming yourselves.
Interesting.
Okay, I want to give Grid a chance.
That's some kind of take on.
I'm gonna give Grid a chance to respond to some of this because he's been pretty quiet, and then we're gonna wrap up the tariff thing. I do have one more question about that, but then we're gonna move on to other portions.
I mean, it's an interesting thing to me because we have Trump. And we leave Trump's economy and everything's great, and then everything goes to garbage. I mean, we were at I could have bought a house at 1.9% interest. In 90 days, you guys smoked it down and it became 7%, 6%, whatever the fuck it was. That's crazy. You're talking about buying a house. That's crazy. I really like the way that all of these appeal to authorities for the experts. I honestly don't care. I honestly don't care. I don't listen to experts very much because most of them are just trying to get in my wallet. I mean, look, I have people call me every day trying to tell me, hey man, I can predict market, bro. You want to make some money, come in on me. No, I paid more in taxes last year than I would give these people, which I actually paid a lot in taxes last year.
I want you to pay more in taxes.
I'm sorry?
I believe it. We believe that.
I want you to pay more in taxes.
Okay.
You do? How much do you think I paid in taxes there?
I don't know, but not enough.
Don't take the bait. Of course you did.
I literally paid all your
I don't really care.
Okay. This I don't care also about how much you paid in taxes. I'm going to be real.
I'm just saying, you guys talk about soak the rich. You're sitting. I mean, you got me.
You're just happy.
I want to ask just one question, and then we'll move off the tariffs. I just want to ask one question. Can those of you who are supporting the Trump tariffs, can you point to me a tariff that in history that has made the economy better?
Sorry, what?
A tariff that has been implemented in the U.S. in the last, let's say, 100 years that has made the economy better.
I mean, I didn't have my quick Google search, but we can look that up real quick. I mean, you're looking at it only from one perspective, right? If you look at it from a view, go ahead, Reed.
I know that, and I'll just pick on the auto industry for a minute. So I know getting rid of tariffs on our side made other countries rich. Japan is the best example, right? So, and it hurt American production. GM used to sell a shit ton of trucks and cars here, but the Japanese, I don't know, people wanted Japanese cars to come here. Japanese wouldn't, they would cost too much comparatively. So we did not and do not tariff Japanese vehicles coming in. But they tariffed every single car we put when we sent over there. They didn't want our cars there. So they would put this massive tariff on there. That's why you don't see
Can I ask
Jeeps
you
very
what
much.
the point of tariffs are? Like, what do you think that the point of them
Well,
are? What's
that's
the
what I
point?
was gonna go
I'm
with.
explaining to you that they've hurt our country. So why is it that why do you think it's okay for every country to tariff our goods so that we can't compete offshore, and yet we subsidize other countries bringing their products in here? Why do you think that's okay? By the way, when the government is literally subsidizing this by not having a tariff on it, how does that benefit the average
The
citizen?
government literally did this by making it easier for American companies to go overseas for cheaper labor. Like, it's the same thing. I don't think that we need tariffs on other
It makes
countries. I don't
cars in
think that
Japan?
we should give a shit if they're
Hey,
tariffing
hold
us.
on. Is that news?
I don't believe in
know.
protectionist policies working more often than not. The only one I can really agree with is the CHIPS Act. So, like, tariffs in
But it's
general are
not a
trash.
protectionist policy.
It is a protectionist, but that's the whole point of tariffs. The point of tariffs is protection of your industry. It's so people can't bring cheaper goods that will drown out your production, and people buy the other foreign goods that are
So you
cheaper.
literally just proved
You
my
put
point.
the tariffs on them, so it
We
increases
hurt
the
the
price
American
of foreign goods.
economy by not having tariffs on Japanese vehicles.
So how
No,
does
we
it
don't
help
hurt
the
you-
economy?
okay,
Hold on. How does
it's
it
the-
help the American economy for prices to go up? How does that help the American economy? Because again,
all right,
that's the
well,
point.
hold on. How does it follow that if we put tariffs on Japanese cars so they can't bring them in, that American-made cars that are already made here are going to go up? How does that math
You know,
work? in your-
American-
Because the
made
reason
cars
why
have
we're
to cross
buying
the border to
Japanese
Canada
cars
8
is because they're cheap and effective.
True, and also American cars have to
I
cross
really
the
like
Canadian
the loud
border
mic
8
that says-
separate
Well,
times as they're being
I-
built. You can go look at
Can
them.
I-
They're
can I-
built in one piece. They cross the border. Pieces are added. They cross back to Canada. More is added. About 8
Yeah,
times.
I
a
watch
vehicle has to
Trudeau's
cross
speech
the
too,
screen.
honey.
Okay, so you want to pay for all of that again? $20,000 a Dodge 1500.
I would just
just went up
rather
today.
the factory be located in Michigan.
Okay, and what
not
about the
ship it across.
workers? The workers are going to get
I
paid
don't
more
care
to
about
cover.
Canadian workers.
No, I
don't
meant
care about-
American workers.
Okay,
I would
let me
just
read a
rather
couple.
the factory be made in Michigan, and so I would care about American workers. I don't care about Canadian workers.
And
You
I'm
okay
not
with
talking
that?
about Canadian workers. I'm talking about American workers.
Speaking of
Why
good
would their rates go up?
old-fashioned American workers that need to make American money, right? Let me read some super chats. Okay, cool. And then we'll keep going. $5 from Non-Fun. Thank you for the $5. Say this: trade is mutually beneficial. That's why it happens. The U.S. has not been hurt by trade, even if when countries have tariffs on us. Thank
You
for
should get
the
non-fought on
$5.
for economic stuff. He's good.
He is. I've had him on before. I'll have him on again. $2 from Non-Fun. Grid, debate me on tariffs on Gibbs show. Okay, well, you guys can set that up.
Yeah,
And then-
he really wants to debate me on tariffs.
And then $2 more from Non-Fun, who's apparently funding my show today. Tariffs protect jobs at the cost of other jobs. Thank you for the $2. Okay, I think we've.
Can I say one thing before you move on, because I didn't get to answer that. I'll be quick.
Please.
I'm sure. But I would. Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and Google and go through all the U.S. history because I'm sure there's some example of one tariff somewhere that's done good that we can sit here and point. I'll point to more recent history from another country. We can look at China. They've had tariffs on us, taking advantage of us, and they become the largest economy in the world as of like 2015. So whenever you sit here and tell me tariffs don't work, well then you're telling me that China's economic policy is bad, and just based off what they've done since in the last 50 years. is I can't. Then you mean that means you're an idiot. It's that simple. China's very good economically, right? It's like so. And part of that has been the tariff system. Now, as for
Which is
America
protectionist
specifically, hold on.
policies.
The other thing is I don't see tariffs as purely an economic tool. I think they can hurt us economically sometimes. However, you might be doing this in order to get geopolitical gains in other areas, right? You might be doing this to send a message. I might tariff one person to send a message to another person. I might do, all sorts of different things. So as far as geopolitically concerned, I think tariffs have been wildly effective thus far.
Wick, I want to talk about geopolitics so much. Can we do that one instead?
We're transitioning into
That's
the
next?
geopolitics.
Cool.
Perfect
I thought you were
transition,
gonna do. All right.
So
How is it good for America to abandon all of our allies and change the entire global order to ally with the Axis powers? Explain this to me. How is this a good
The
thing?
Axis powers.
We're literally going to be dropping.
That's great.
Yeah.
Let's
Literally,
go.
the people that are invading other countries and killing them. The people who are not giving a shit about global law, order, not giving a shit about
What is
human
that?
rights.
Wait. You know, you're a purist. For you're a purist. Say my ideology is evil.
What do
You know
you
what
keep saying
ideology is
purist
evil?
for? Do you have any idea
International
what-
rules-based order. That is evil. Like that is against
I
the
don't
norm.
believe in
I'm sorry.
pure
I don't believe in
anything.
that.
And I'm not saying that the order's even good. In fact, I agree with you. I'm happy
Oh, okay.
that
So
America
there's no
destroyed
international
the
law then.
entire
So the
global
problem solved.
hegemony. I'm just smart enough to know that it's not good for America. I'm happy this is happening.
Hold on.
In fact,
Wait, hold
I
on.
love
So
it
like when
because it's fun.
Rwanda,
Can you clarify why it's not good for America?
Hold on, I got
Because
this. I want to
Because
get
we
this
are
one.
now isolated.
hold on,
When
stop,
Rwanda
Gibbs,
invaded-
Gibbs, stop.
Yeah, you're going way off topic with it. I don't give a
Well,
shit
No,
about
I'm
that
not
question.
going for it.
I want to answer
Grid
the question of why
Grid
it's
asked
bad
it.
for
Hold on.
America.
We'll get to you. I promise.
Yeah,
First of all,
Grid, it's
for my
bad for
audience,
America.
stop, both of you, because first of all, for my audience, you guys are using a lot of terms. My audience not so read so good, okay? So you're gonna have to define these terms, okay? So your international rules-based order, define it. Go.
Grid, you want grid?
Me?
Or grid?
Someone define the
Okay.
international rules-based
yeah,
order for my
I just-
audience.
Literally the United
concept,
Nations.
Okay, the United
yeah,
Nations,
don't piss off
global
the US.
hegemony, that
laws
kind of thing,
every
Pax
country's got to
Americana.
follow, and borders don't change generally. That's what it
International
has to
law, war law,
Okay.
ICC and ICJ rulings, all of this stuff.
And
right?
to be clear, your stance is that the international rule-based order, Gibbs, I'm asking you this,
It's bullshit.
is bad for America.
Yeah, it's bad for America. It's bullshit.
And your stance, Visora, just so I get this clear, is that the international rule-based order is good for America.
I think that it is both good and bad in different ways for the entire world, and I think that it needs to be changed. Now, I'm not a fan of how this is being changed. I think this will hurt America. At the moment, I think America was better off with that rules-based order that they were in charge of.
I want to give Grid a chance to ask his question now that we got our terms.
Yeah, I
Good.
appreciate that. So I'm just before I get into it, I want to give my worldview on this because then you'll understand where I'm coming from. I'm an isolationist. I don't believe that we should be giving other countries American tax dollars for anything. I really don't. I really don't think that we should be giving Germany money just for being Germany. I don't think that we should be giving the UK money. I don't think that they should be able to have the ability to depend upon the might of the almighty U.S. taxpayer to provide the protection from which they sleep every night. They should have their own armies. They should have their own everything, right? Like that's fine. I don't want to be the world police. I think it's a suck ass job and we shouldn't do it. So that's my worldview. So and mostly it's mostly I come at this from a why are we spending all of our money and time defending other nations?
Because it's
and so
morally
I'm very
correct.
curious as to why you think that we should and why you think it benefits America to do so.
Because it's A, we should do it just because it's morally correct, but B, it benefits America because we do this and gain soft power, which means we gain influence. We get more from all of these countries than we give them, a significant amount more. We get investment, we get workers, we get alliances that protect us both in trade and militarily, we get assistance, we get intelligence. Australia, for example, major US ally, Five Eyes. We had a deal to sell shit to them, like AUKUS was to sell nuclear submarines. They have in a US and Australian joint military base in the middle of Australia, which is how we can see China, the Middle East, most of Russia. Pine Gap exists because of this. You would not have this, which means you would not, A, have intelligence, being available to you for US defense, at least not in the wider capability. But at the same time, the point of being a global hegemon is not to just give shit away freely. It's not like we did this out of the goodness of our hearts. America was the global hegemon because we stole from these countries. USAID gave money to shit, right? All you right-wingers are like, oh, I don't want to pay for HIV medicine in Africa. Why do you think we do that? It's not because we give a shit about the Africans who have HIV. We do that because it gives America influence. It counters China's belts and roads, at least now it does, because that started well before China's belts and roads. And see, it gives us connections to these governments, which we can use when we want to extract something from those governments.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, what she said
that
sounds
is the
real
most
pretty and
absurd
all.
thing. I'm sorry, Gibbs. That's
Oh,
the
go
most
ahead.
absurd
I
thing
wanna
I've
let
heard
you
in a
know.
very long time. I have to say, I don't normally hear such things in my daily life, and that was great. So let me get this straight. Not one country from World War II, except for Finland, has ever paid back their war debt. And you think it's okay for us to just keep giving them money, and then somehow that builds our social
Yes,
credit score?
I do.
Are you going to say
No.
social credit score? Are you?
No.
Come on, say it. Come on. I know you want to.
I don't believe
It's
in that
okay.
shit. I don't
Okay,
believe in
but you
that shit.
just
Stop
said
being
that
so fucking
that's why we
condescending
go
with your
down to
little
Africa,
fedora
because
neckbeard
we
incel
owe
ass.
these people.
Shut
We don't
the
owe
fuck up
shit.
instead of putting
We
words
didn't
in my
steal
mouth.
anything.
I
We
mean,
won
you
the
did
We're
basically
war.
say
stealing
that.
constantly. And on top of this, I don't believe in a social credit score, but yes, you know what? I don't think they should have to pay that debt. I don't think they should. I don't think Ukraine owes us any money either. I think that it's morally right and we gain more from it in the long
$550
term.
You don't think they owe us money?
No, I
You
don't
fucking crazy?
at all. For Ukraine or Europe? Ask me,
Gibbs,
pick one.
Yeah,
Ukraine
I
or
don't know.
Europe?
I'm borrowing money from next time.
Hold on,
Right, I'm
Ukraine or
saying,
Europe?
bro.
You think
You don't have to
Ukraine
pay
owes us
it,
money?
pay it back,
Because
bro.
we didn't give a cent.
Hey,
We
you
didn't
got
give
you
a
got 40
dollar to
bucks I can
Ukraine.
borrow. You got 40 bucks
We
you
didn't
can
give
borrow.
a
I
dollar
promise
to
you'll pay it back.
Ukraine. What we did is we sent them old military equipment that was about to be decommissioned, and then we bought new ones
And
from
Patriot
US
missiles.
military companies. That money that Ukraine somehow received just went to Lockheed, Raytheon, Boeing. Like, none of that went to, not a single dollar of that went to Ukraine.
Yeah, I mean, so all of what you said is well and good, and I don't give a shit. I'll tell you why. Because when I look at international rules-based order, it's bullshit. It fucks us. Let's look
I
at
agree.
Rwanda. I'm gonna. They were involved recently. I don't know if y'all know y'all's African history, but they were recently involved in the biggest war since World War II. Largest loss
was
of
a
life.
genocide.
Yeah, it was a crazy shit happened, right? And this is about three.
It's
They had about
literally a
2 or 3 other
genocide.
wars before that. But guess what? Rwanda has taken over policing from France in Africa. They now also are the biggest provider of troops to the UN for UN peacekeepers in Rwanda. Now, all of this has some merit, importance to this conversation for this reason right here: the rare earth minerals. The DRC used to be Zaire, has a bunch of them, and Rwanda, a U.S.-backed ally and UK-backed ally, just invaded last year, and now it controls them. And they went from not even having rare earth minerals in their area to now being the leader in the on the continent for rare earth mineral production. And guess where they all go? Here. So when I say international rules-based order
Citation needed.
It's saying we're getting. I mean, cool. You can go watch real life war. There's one like an hour long video on it. I'm not going to sit here and take time.
Sure. That's a citation. I wanted I don't know, like a news article, maybe like economic statements.
Have the site for the. I mean, you can Google it. You want it right here? Look, just go Google.
No, I wanted you to say it. I don't need to Google.
do this.
You need to back up your claim. You're making the claim.
I'm making the claim.
Yes, it
cool.
is.
And my claim is backed up by a Google search. It's
You're
not that hard.
literally in a debate.
Okay.
It is your job to back your claim. If I say the sky is purple,
Gibbs.
I gave you one source. Hold on. I can't even.
Hold on. The audacity of saying that you don't have to back your claim.
Okay.
I already
Wait,
said
hold on. all of you, shut up. All of you,
Hold on,
all of you,
hold on.
all of you, all of you,
Wait,
shut up.
I'm about to leave if we're having a conversation in which someone can say I don't have to back my
already
claim, or we're
gave
having
my
a literal
source and you
fucking
didn't
debate.
accept it, and then I gave
You gave me
finish
the
his
name
point.
of a YouTube video.
Hold on. I've already posted 3 article things here about the sources here in multiple chats. You posted 0.
Where?
So I mean, maybe I didn't
Where?
post it in ours, but I can post it about.
No one
other shit
asked
that you
me
looked
for
at.
a source to post. I don't have anything to see. I like
Oh
the
my-
chat says messages failed to load is what it says, but like
I don't see any.
understand.
I
Like
don't see
I
any.
wanted a real source.
I don't see any sources
Let me-
posted in the
And
group
even
chat.
if
don't
it's
see
just
I
the video,
posted them in the
Oh,
Twitch
if
chat,
it
but I'll
was-
post whatever. But anyway,
Post in the
you
group
gotta
chat.
go right here.
I just
and then
wanted
just pull
a
up the little
source.
Rwanda thing. Oh, sure. I
I
gave
know
you
what
one.
Rwanda
Real life
is.
lore. I
Okay,
gave you one
hold
right
on,
there, real
stop,
life
because
lore,
we are
and
we
you
are
didn't
far.
accept it.
I have lost the point.
Oh, I
Okay,
haven't even got to say
Gibbs,
my point.
be
because,
concise
she's
with your
interrupted me.
point, and then we'll
I'm
carry
being
on.
concise.
Concise,
Hold on.
concise,
Wait,
concise.
I
yes.
object. I will be. It's funny that I'm being told to be concise when I got interrupted before my second sentence. But here's the thing. They have become the #1 producer on the continent for rare earth minerals. You can look. Real life lore is the source. If you want to go do further research, there you go. But now, as for that information, they are provide most of their trading of rare earth minerals to the United States and the UK. It clearly is in our benefits to go and back some of these countries sometimes to invade other countries, especially when they're aligned with foreign powers or that are adversarial to us. And for you to sit here and go, oh no, it doesn't benefit us. Well, what has it benefited us so far to be in NATO? It's European centric. It should be American centric. Instead, we're over here having to pay way more than anybody else on our GDP for our military, while Greece and Italy don't even pay 1%. And they're sitting here backing them. It's crazy. They've just been
Why
taking
do you
advantage for years.
think that
And
we should need to?
And the
as
last thing,
richer and more powerful
y'all are
country?
so stuck on the status quo that y'all can't accept reality that alliances change due to geopolitical changes.
No, we
throughout
can.
history.
In fact,
And
we
guess
can.
what? Maybe the tide's
Understand that-
turning. Maybe there's new alliances that
Yeah.
need to be made.
We're going with the bad people. That's the point. The problem is we are joining alliances with the evil countries, the countries that don't care about human life, that are literally authoritarian run fascist dictators.
The
On
socialist
top of that,
countries, you're right.
take that away from the socialist country. Yes, sure, the person who literally could not define socialism. Take this on top of that, right?
Okay.
You're citing me
Sure.
a fucking YouTube video.
Wait, do
then
you
you're
think
talking
Russia
about
is socialist?
bullshit
No,
Yeah,
I think
this
China
idiot probably
has
does.
socialist elements. And
Okay,
But
do you
neither
disagree
of
that
them
we're
are
aligning
socialist.
ourselves with Russia?
Juche
Neither of those are socialist. They have market
North
economy.
Korea is absolutely socialist.
I want. Hold on.
Really quickly, I just want to
Just really
respond to what
quickly.
Gibbs said.
Really quickly.
95% of the rare earth elements in Africa are controlled by China, first of all. Secondly, China is not a socialist country. It has a market economy. Literally, definitionally not socialist.
Okay.
So, like,
they don't
and
have
that's
communist elements
it.
at all. You're right.
Ahrelevant asked a question that I
She's
want an
right.
answer to. Right? Ahrelevant asked a question you want an answer to. Can you ask the last question you just did? I don't want to mess it up. Ahrelevant. You asked him, do you think we're aligning with China or Russia or something like that?
Are we, from your perspective, are we aligning ourselves with Russia? Gibbs?
With Russia? Are we aligned ourselves with Russia? No, I mean, I would hope not, but if we are, then whatever. I mean, like, I'm open-minded.
You
Can I
hope
post
not?
a link to a?
Do you
I
think,
mean,
do you think
personally-
calling Zelensky a dictator, pulling military aid from Ukraine, and
listen,
saying
hold
that,
on.
and refusing to call Vladimir Putin a dictator? Do you think maybe that would be aligning ourselves with Russia?
I'll say something shocking. I have been the most avid
link
supporter of
something.
Ukraine here on the right, and I know of in the right circles, because I own military-industrial complex stocks. There's some of the ones I own, and guess what? The ongoing war increases my money. So hey, I've been backing the Ukraine play. However, Zelensky
so you're
acted like
literally evil.
hold
Then.
on,
You're a demon.
Cool, you happy demon. You're right, absolutely. Anyway, Zelensky acted like a baby back bitch in the global office and threw a little tantrum, and he got his baby bottom powdered and tossed out on his face. And guess what? When you act like that, aid gets frozen. It's that simple. You need to sit here and prostrate yourself and grovel when your country.
Can you tell me one thing that Zelensky said that should have had the aid to his country frozen?
When he called the vice president of the United States a bitch.
Are you talking about the super muffled audio that sounds like he could have said like several things? Is that what you're referring
Following
to?
JD Vance being asked if he had ever
people
been
for
to
left.
Ukraine, and him responding with, "I've seen videos of it." Okay,
I mean-
look, understand right here. First of all, I posted a link to the it's a Reuters
Where are
link
you
that's
all
saying
posting these things? Because I don't.
I posted it in this chat. In this chat,
Don't post in
like
the group
there's
chat.
a show
Post in the
chat
group chat.
button.
Post in the group chat.
I put
so
it
we
in
can all
this
see it.
chat. It says show chat. I pressed that button and I posted it. Can you guys see it?
Don't do that because that's bugged. in my Discord.
Okay,
Post it in the
so
group
where
chat
should I
in the
post it?
Discord. In the Discord, the group chat, I've put you all in.
Oh, the one that you
Post
put
it
us all
down.
in? Sure.
Please, yes.
There it is.
Thank you.
There you go.
Okay, great. Now we
Now,
can see
on
it.
top of that, I would just like to add in that wait, sorry, I forgot what the last thing you said was, because you say too many like random things all at once. Gibbs, what was the other point that you were making beside from we might not be partnered with Russia, but if we are, we... Oh, sorry, yes, it was the fact that you're a literal demon, that you make money off of the death of other people, and you're happy about it. I think stocks are immoral in general, but if you're literally investing in stocks in defense companies, and you are happy that conflict continues because of this, then you're going to burn in hell for all eternity, and I'm very happy for that. I'm not even Christian, but listening to you talk makes me hope that the Christians are right.
Good.
Okay.
I'm gonna go buy some more now, just because
We
you said
are
that, I
right.
think.
So.
I'm curious.
Sure that.
Grid, do you have the same opinion on the Zelensky thing? That
Yeah, I mean,
go
I
ahead.
can get into that. Yeah. So, I think what Zelensky did was poor form. He should not have done any of the shit that he did on this stage. As far as us like aligning with Russia, look, you guys, come on. This has been the narrative since Trump even decided to run. Was that Russian collusion?
Yeah, all of it was correct.
All of that.
Do you deny Russian interference in the elections?
That was proven.
You mean
that is proven.
Pumped up dossier? Are we going to get into the dossier?
No, I'm asking from your point. It's a very basic question. Did Russia interfere? Did Russia interfere in the 2016 election?
Did Russia interfere in the 2016 election?
Yeah, and we could even talk about the 2020 or the
or 2024.
Yeah, we could talk about any of these.
Are we
about
to argue over election interference? Is that what we're about to do?
The exhaustive FBI investigation that showed that the Steele dossier was completely fabricated and paid for. You asked that.
That FBI agent who said that is now in prison for Russian collusion. By the way.
Yep.
Like the literal FBI agent who announced that is now in prison for Russian collusion.
Yeah, but the person who paid for the dossier is not. So why is that? Why is that?
The question you still haven't answered though: did Russia collude in 2016?
I have no.
She didn't want to answer that question.
What do you mean you have no idea? Wait, why are you? Why are you even? It's a very. You can literally Google this. If we, Gibbs here, you can literally Google this instantly and find a litany of intelligence documents showing. You can find a litany of intelligence documents showing you that it is the case. Russia did interfere. There is no debate on that.
This year of Russia, China, India, Turkey, Israel, like literally every country in the world interfered with our election.
Just call Gibbs on making a claim.
Sure. What would count as proof to you?
Like intelligence documents are proof?
Yeah, so we can bring up intelligence documents and
literal FBI or CIA finding in the world court saying there was Russian collusion. Well,
in the world court? Wait, so now we have to go into international politics now?
A literal FBI finding that there was Russian collusion aiding Donald Trump. That would be fucking great if you could do that.
Wait, Russian collusion or Russian interference?
Interference, yeah, interference is the word.
Wait, I don't understand.
Okay, let me clarify. Stop, so we can clarify because you're about to talk about two different things, and I want to make sure you're talking about the same thing. So there's two threads here. The question that Ahrelevant asked was there Russian interference in the election, which is a different thing than Russian collusion. The Russian collusion was Trump and Russia colluded in order to get Trump elected. That is one claim. The question, though, that Ahrelevant asked is, did Russia interfere in the election, which does not require collusion?
I just posted a link from the FBI, by the way, about that.
Yeah, give me a second. I got to get over to it. It's on an entirely different monitor.
Yeah. And it's a simple question. Do you think that Russia interferes in the American election?
Hold on. Did you literally post this thing about threats that there's literally no proof? It literally says none of the threats have been determined to be credible thus far. Seriously?
Credible as in like there was no bomb. They were just bomb threats. The point of the bomb threat isn't to bomb anything. It's to scare people.
Holy, look, please stop. This is
No,
embarrassing.
Grid, that
Literally-
is a very basic thing. They called in a
That's
false bomb threat to
embarrassing.
clear out a polling place.
It literally says many of which appear not proven. There's no proof. I asked for proof.
Wait,
Literally,
are
because
you
yes,
reading
the
a
F-
single
you-
word out of that
you
thing
think
and
the
then acting like
FBI
you understand the whole?
appears-
Bro,
you
you're
know what?
headline
You think the
scamming
US
right now, bro.
government
There's
is
no
going to
shot.
put out a doc-
We're live,
It
bro.
appears to be
Button
President
up.
Trump a mistake. I can I say just
You're
I
so
randomly
right,
say
man.
appears? Come on, man. You can't do
You
that.
think
That's-
that a government agency
Dude.
like the FBI is going to write black and white writing like that when none of this has been
Yes,
taken to a court
all
of law?
the damn time. I deal with them. I deal
No.
with them all the time. They do not. They do not.
You're
If
lying.
it says appears,
If it
it
has
says
no
appears,
proven law, if it's not been to court, if it involves
how
a
many more
foreign country
straws do
that's
you need to
possibly
grasp
hostile,
at, lady? How many more straws?
how many more straws do you need to grasp at? You're living in a delusional
grasping.
fantasy land.
I
You
literally
think
asked
that
you
Ameri-
for proof. I said
I-
prove it.
The FBI
can't.
isn't proof then. Yeah, sure. Okay. This is why
Appearance is
I
not
never even
proof.
bother to talk to MAGA
so
because all of you
smart.
retards won't
This
even
came
look at a
from a
piece of
Russian
paper
server.
and read it when
This
it's
is
given
the
to you.
address that
You're
this came
asking
from.
for
That's
evidence that you're
proof.
too dumb to comprehend.
I
Most like
am- no, you were the
again,
stupid one here
65% of
because
Americans
you
can't even
you
fucking
think
read.
appears means proof.
Yeah,
No,
beers.
I don't think it means
You do.
proofs. I think it
Proof
means
is-
that 60 appearances of possible bomb threats that originate from Russia in this
It does
election
not say
added
originates
on
from Russia,
top
it says
of
appears. It
Hey, let me ask you a
don't
question.
leave out
appears
words.
to originate
Don't
from
leave out
Russia,
words.
plus
Don't leave
the
out
last
words.
few
Hey,
years.
can I ask you a
Anyone
question?
who has some, I don't know, ability to do critical thinking can put the pieces together and find the timeline of a consistent action of this keeps happening. What keeps happening, and every time it's pointed in the same direction. So likely, if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
Absolutely embarrassing.
I mean, hold on.
It's terrible.
Yes,
I can't
I'm
let you-
embarrassing. Of course.
You
Again, this is
Believe
why
it-
you never even bother with these people. You're asking for information that you're not going to read because you don't want to read.
Hold on. Why is Hillary Clinton not in jail
She should be.
for the Steele dossier, which we actually have proof she paid for?
Hey, weren't you all mad about Benghazi? What about Elon Musk setting up
You were. I
private
was
servers
absolutely
in
mad about
in the Treasury and taking your information? How about that? Because everyone was
He
mad
hasn't
about
taken my
Hillary with
information.
Benghazi. Do you think it's okay?
I love the fact that you go from read only to stealing my information.
Do you
By the
think
way,
that
my
read
information's
only
out there
means
anyway.
fucking anything? You can literally copy and paste from a read
Okay,
only
I-
okay. I would like to remind everyone the topic of
Russian
today's
interference.
discussion.
There's all the Russian interference in the world. I will grant all of it. How does Trump treating Putin with respect mean that we're aligning with him?
He's a literal
I
war
wouldn't-
criminal
I
who
wouldn't-
has wanted warrants out for his arrest.
okay.
Is the
Was
result.
that Yahoo?
I want to give. Hold on.
Can-
I want to give Ahrelevant a chance to answer that
Hold
question
on.
too.
Yeah, can we start with a basic just heat check here? Did Russia invade Ukraine?
Yeah, after Putin said, if you cross this line, I'm going to go to war with you. And
What
they
line?
crossed the line.
What line?
That's not my take, but
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
No,
No,
I'm
I
curious
got
too.
you,
What
dude.
line? What line did they cross?
Russia wanted continued access to the only all season deepwater port. Ukraine said, no, that's ours. We're going to keep it. We're going to tax you for it. You're going to pay us. Putin said,
It is
no,
theirs.
it's been historically we've had access. And he said, if you
But it's-
close this off, if you force my hand, we'll go to war. And he
How
put
about-
tanks all along the border.
Hold on. No.
Flip this,
Stop.
flip this,
Let
hold
me
on.
deal with
I
this.
would-
No. Okay, so
You would
just
never
to be
make that
clear,
argument.
and so I understand, Grid, your argument
Yeah.
here is that because Ukraine refused to cede the territory of the water port, right? The all-weather,
we talking about Crimea here?
right? No, we're not talking about
Are we talking
Crimea.
about-
We're not talking about Crimea, I don't
Because
think.
that's
I can't ever remember
where
names.
the war
It's
started.
Sebastopol. I
Well,
always
Crimea was 2014. It's a whole
That's
thing.
when the war started.
Yes,
They were
but we're
occupying
talking about the
Ukraine since
invasion.
then.
Okay, well, let me ask Grid. Are you talking about the 2014 thing, or are you talking about the 2022 thing?
Yeah, it's important to clarify.
2022 thing when after Crimea happened, Putin and Trump came to a deal. Putin backed off.
Minsk
Zelensky
agreement.
became aggressive to Russia again, and Putin's just not a guy that you punch in the balls. And Putin and
You were
Zelensky literally.
providing nothing. First of all,
scared him.
you're stumbling your words because you're
No,
making this shit up as you
hold
go
on. It's
along.
I'm not
really,
making
it's
this
really
up.
important that I understand what he is saying. So again, Grid, what line in 2022 did Ukraine cross that justifies in your mind?
Yeah, it wasn't a
the
line on a
invasion?
map, okay? It
I
was the
understand
line
what ultimatum
Remember-
that they refused to do or whatever.
Remember, Trump went to Putin and said, "Putin, I've worked this out. Everything's good. Ukraine's good. We're all good. Crimea's good. We're no fighting, guys." Remember that? Do we all remember that in like 2017,
agreement?
2018?
No, the Minsk agreements weren't with Trump.
Well, I know it
Trump
wasn't
was
with Trump,
president,
it was
but Trump
broken under
had nothing to
Trump.
do with
Yeah,
it.
Trump was president anyway. So
But no, I
Putin
don't
backed
remember
off,
the
right?
2018
Putin
thing.
backed off. He was like, "All right, cool. I'm good.
I don't remember this.
I don't care anything about Ukraine at the moment." The minute Trump left office, Putin's like, "Okay, I'm going to continue to not be aggressive, but Zelensky was, and that's just my take on it. If you have proof that I'm wrong, go for it."
Okay.
No, stop.
I ain't gonna hold you.
Stop.
I don't know what the fuck you just said.
Yes,
I'm like,
I don't
what did you just
understand.
say?
He just
Yeah,
made
I mean,
some shit up. That's what he just said.
Hold on. Y'all
I'm not
y'all
gonna-
trying to get a gotcha on Grid? I can try to elaborate.
No,
on
we're
what he's
just
saying,
trying
but-
to understand where
can't
you
hear
guys
you, Gibbs.
are on the what's your we're like all Ahrelevant was trying to do was get a heat check, and it was successful in that neither of you believe in reality. The question was, did
Hold on,
Russia
I didn't even
invade
answer.
Ukraine
I
or
didn't
not?
even answer it.
It was
So
just that.
neither of us believe in reality.
What is
This
your
you're
answer?
the one who's
Did
talking
Russia
about like
invade Ukraine?
stock is immoral. I mean, we're talking about
Did
either.
Russia
That's
invade
true.
Ukraine?
I did say Russia invaded Ukraine.
Yeah.
No, not you. We got your answer, Grid, but I'm asking
Yeah,
Gibbs.
so
Did Russia invade Ukraine?
I'll give you a real simple answer. Russia did what they wanted and they invaded Ukraine. It's real simple. People they can't come up with some bullshit reason. What did Putin say in that interview? Something about Anthony. Let's boil it down. I'll boil it
His
down.
reasoning
Hold on, I
was
got
that
you.
he was afraid.
You let me finish. Let me finish. I just listened to your bullshit.
I thought I was
for an
just
hour.
adding into
Hold on.
you.
I'm
Sorry.
just
My
saying.
apologies.
Putin straight up just made up some bullshit himself. So something about ethnic Russians and invaded. I'm not sitting here pretending that that's not what he did. I don't. So you're not gonna sit here and get me with a gotcha on that shit. He just came in there, just like every country in the world comes up with some bullshit. I used Rwanda as an example earlier. They invaded the DRC to protect ethnic Tutsis, right? Like that's something all these countries do all the time
America with
to
the
do
drug
whatever they
cartel.
want. Yeah, like sure. I mean, sure, we can do that with the cartels right now. We can protect American interests by invading Mexico. I mean, I hope so. It would be fantastic. But regardless, yeah, I don't see what your heat check is here for that. I mean, or if we're gonna sit here and argue about
Well, let's ask Ahrelevant. He made the heat check. Where are you going
It
with
was
this?
a
Hold on,
very
stop.
basic question to be
Ahrelevant,
able.
go ahead.
Yeah, so it was a very basic question because there is a catastrophic amount of conservatives who refuse to believe that Russia, including the president of the United States, who refuse to believe that Russia invaded Ukraine. I don't feel like this is a crazy thing with the president of the United States, the person that you two, Grid and Gibbs, have come here to so staunchly to defend, denies that Russia invaded Ukraine. I feel like this isn't a wild question, and it brings us to it grounds us in reality, because I can accept what you said there, Gibbs. You know, there's a lot of times that people wage war for bullshit reasons and stuff like that. This was one of them. And now when there is somebody who has a war that's waged on them for bullshit reasons, I think it not only is in our geopolitical interests to be able to protect this entity for just totally selfish gain, right? Let's talk about the alleged $500 billion in rare earth minerals. Guess what? If Ukraine doesn't exist, Russia gets those minerals. If Ukraine does exist, we got a shot. We got a chance at being able to do that. And it's not even just a chance. It's very realistic. There is a pattern, a history of us projecting soft power and then getting favorable trade deals with the countries that we project soft power with. That's why we do it. So the idea that there is absolutely no purpose for us doing it, it's ridiculous. Also, just to put this out there, because we touched on it a bit earlier, we have $30 billion in loans that we have given to Ukraine. We're getting $30 billion back from that. Just to be clear, the idea that we're just handing over all money and stuff like that, and the vast majority of it, as previously mentioned, is military equipment.
So you say we're going to get this money back, and my question is when? And Grid brought this up earlier, and y'all tried to hand wave it away, but we never got our money back from World War II. Why
We didn't
would
ask
these
for it
countries?
back.
We did.
Oh, yeah, we did. Oh, listen.
England. Actually, I was wrong. By the way,
you know what? You are right. I did forget about that. You're right. We did ask for it back.
But
one fact check. One of my chat fact checked me and said that England actually was the second country to pay us back in like 2008. 83 million was the final payment.
Yeah, so my point is most of these countries haven't paid us back, and they're sitting here, they've sucked on our teeth. A lot of them don't pay their fair way in NATO. Ukraine was, before 2022, did you know we had a higher trading partner, like GDP trade partner limit, whatever the number is, I can't get my words together here, with Haiti than we did with the Ukraine? So when you're sitting here acting like Ukraine's this big, yeah, they might be a big influence in Europe. It's like, okay, I get it, but hey, sometimes you don't understand the point it's not our problem. But hold on. Listen. First of all, I want the war to continue forever, and because guess what? I make a bunch of money. Good.
Yeah, because you're a demon.
And Russia,
but you don't even understand the war.
And Russia,
you're a demon. We get that, but you don't know the war. You don't understand the map.
Shh, I'm talking.
Don't fucking shush me. You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Russia.
No, I can't do this, man.
Listen,
you're fucking retarded. You don't even know the map.
Listen, hold on. I don't want to appeal to credentialism, but my undergrad, I got a political theory from a D1 university. I got a minor in history, and then I got 3 certificates from a presidential library in political theory. You can go fuck yourself when you tell me you don't know.
None of that means fucking anything if you don't understand the fact that Ukraine isn't important for economic reasons. It's important because it's the entry point into Europe for an invasion.
You don't even know what I'm talking about.
Nah, fuck this shit. I'm out. I'm out, man. I can't deal with this.
All right, cry some more. Scream re. That's called losing and taking your ball and going home whenever you can't argue articulately and you have to run like a baby back kid. Anyway, so like I was trying to say, so what I was trying to say is there are geopolitical reasons, and if Zelensky comes over and he acts like he did at the White House, then we absolutely need to powder his bottom, spank him, and send him on home.
So let's break that down. What exactly was the first instance? Because I went through the footage, I went through it painstakingly, and I would articulate and implore anybody who watches the footage that JD Vance was the first person to instigate the disrespect by saying that Zelensky runs propaganda tours, and when Zelensky just asked him a very basic question, have you been to Ukraine? Have you seen the state of Ukraine? And then JD Vance was like, no, well, I've seen videos, and by the way, I'm not going to go on those propaganda tours that you put up. That was a very disrespectful thing to say to a world leader. It's unbecoming to say to another world leader, and it started to disrespect. So I just want to hear from your guys' point of view how the disrespect started sooner than that.
When the guy with his hand out for money used the familiar JD in a dismissive tone when he first addressed the Vice President of the United States.
He used the what?
He used the term JD. JD is JD Vance's first name. It's a familiar tone, the familiar thing. I don't walk up and say, I don't even know Gibbs's first name, but I wouldn't.
There is no. You are out your mind. If you think Zelensky saying JD is a measure of disrespect that warrants him going all and crying and saying, "Oh, you have to say please and thank you, Zelensky. You have to say please and thank."
Yeah, he should have been grumpy.
Live on the fucking net.
He should have been grumpy.
There's no shot that you're saying JD. His first name. His first name, JD, is what started the disrespect. Bro, you're lost. You're lost.
Okay.
This guy.
Here's what we're gonna do.
Please save this guy.
Just real quick, just because. Well, here we are. So I'm going to start getting more involved to maybe even this up a little bit, right? Because we've lost one of the lefters on here. There. Let me read some of these super chats though, while we have this moment, and then we'll go back into it. Okay, let's get to them. Here we go. $5 from Tomas Oliveris. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I apologize if I'm not, but thank you for the $5. Hey, Wick. Ask how is the president's tariffs on American affect the local economy beside the stock market at large?
I'm going to assume that that's a question for the Republicans because my argument is in line with pretty much anything you can Google online from anybody who's educated on the economy.
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
How is the president's tariff on Americans affect a local economy besides the stock market at large? So how does it affect the local economy versus the national economy?
Tariffs on Americans? There are no tariffs on Americans.
No, the president's tariffs.
Oh, well, I'll give you an example. I posted it. I think I posted it in the group chat. If not, I'll post it now. I'll repost it. But I posted like Toyota moving their factories here to avoid manufacturing or make it cheaper, and that helps Americans by giving them manufacturing jobs. There's other examples of these sorts of things where usually you see maybe like an economic like dip for some point, like maybe prices go up, but manufacturing generally goes up in that country. That'd be the logic here. We don't have any manufacturing. If we were to go to war with China, for example, our shipbuilding doesn't exist. So like comparatively, right? So like it would behoove us in theory to like invest in more shipbuilding in tariff countries that are
Well, it would
like,
behoove
along
us,
those lines.
since I'm entering into the fray here, it would behoove us not to tariff steel, which we can import. So we have the resources, the raw resources, in order to build those ships, right? One of the problems with tariffs is that it does, and I'll grant you this, in certain sectors, there are jobs that grow. We get more steel production jobs. We get more lumber production jobs. We get more other raw resource production jobs. That's fair, or manufacturing jobs for cars. But the problem is that companies that aren't these manufacturing jobs, but rely on the import of cheaper goods, they lay people off. America loses more jobs, and this has happened over and over and over again. This is a pattern in history. It happened with Obama, it happened with Bush, it happened with Clinton, it happened with Nixon, going back, right? We always lose more jobs than we gain. And also, prices for consumers just skyrocket, and it hurts America wealth. It makes me poorer, and I don't like being poorer. I'm already pretty poor. I don't want to be more poor, okay? So that's a problem. And the other problem with it is it encourages retaliatory tariffs, like we're seeing in with Canada, with the Quebecois guy cutting off power that he's supplying us with to over 1 million citizens. It's crazy. But let me read some more of these super chats. $2 from Overcomer. Sounds like imperialism is good. Yes, sir. $2 from Trib1. Obligatory L. Donald John Trump Dono. Well, thank you for $2. $2 more from the Trib1. Trade in MAGA for Mala. Make America literate again. Thank you. $5 from Audacity. What weight are we applying to interference? Blocking voting booths, flipping votes, or just memes on Facebook? Question for everyone here.
What weight am I giving the Russian interference?
Yes, that's the question.
Yeah. So I'm giving it significant weight because it wasn't just memes on Facebook. It was speaking to certain political entities. So, for instance, in the case of the infamous Hunter Biden scandal and stuff like that, there was people with known Russian connections that went and spoke to people in the Trump team and informed people in the Trump team. The intelligence agencies told Trump, hey, these people that are coming up to your, the people inside of your administration or your team, these people have Russian connections. He ignored it, didn't care. Rudy Giuliani didn't care, and then tried to follow these leads, only to find out that, of course, it was just Russian disinformation and it led nowhere. So there is, also, obviously, this led to Donald Trump completely unilaterally and horribly trying to force Ukraine into investigating Joe and Hunter Biden unjustly while holding hostage congressionally approved funding. So, I mean, pretty big thing there. He got impeached for it.
I want to give the Republicans a chance to respond to that. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll do it. So
we do got more super chats, so response quick, right? But go ahead.
Let me get this straight. You don't think that 10% for the big guy was a meaningful reference?
I'm sorry, what is he referencing?
Recordings that they have with the Chinese and Hunter Biden where he's peddling influence from his father. My father is standing here with me. Don't forget the 10% for the big guy. Do you not remember that recording, or do you just choose to ignore it? Selective memory.
No, so as per my understanding, the investigation did show that Hunter Biden did use the clout of his father without his father's permission in order to be able to leverage himself. However, that wasn't what the investigation was there to look into. What the investigation was there to look into is whether or not Joe Biden and Hunter Biden colluded, or that Joe Biden used some manner of his politically advantageous position to be able to advantage his son in his dealings in Ukraine and abroad generally. And that was shown to not be the case and actually be a product of Russian disinformation that Trump was actually made aware of by the intelligence community.
Just jump in here for answer real quick. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think very. I mean, I'm sure they were involved. I'm sure China was involved. Less than 1% each side, just because I know that we're doing the same shit in other countries. And hopefully, we're more effective. I don't think it matters. Every country's playing espionage with everybody. And I generally think Americans are not as stupid as y'all are trying to make them out to be. But I guess I'm a man. What am I?
It depends on the American, right? But
Sure.
fair enough. $5 from Tomas Oliveras. Hey, sorry for this, but did Zelensky actually accept Trump's deal or no? So the latest information I have on this is that Zelensky has tweeted out, he has signaled that he is still willing to sign the mineral deal, but no deal has yet to be signed. So we'll see. $2 from the Trib1. Our enemies, Japan, paid us back. Well, we made them, but yes, that's also accurate and correct.
I think that is actually.
Yes.
I had to look that up.
Yeah.
And now they're like the 51st state.
Yep.
But, you know.
$5 from the Trib1. Gibbs, it's worse to say you're educated, and then you sound as regarded as you do on topics you should have more of an understanding on. Thank you for the $5. And then $2 finally from
I appreciate the hate.
Wick is right about tariffs. But let's go back to the Zelensky discussion, because I have a lot of thoughts on this, okay? So, Grid, you say that the fact that Zelensky addressed him by JD instead of Vice President or Sir, perhaps, was justified Vance's meltdown. Is that your position?
I don't think Vance melted down. I think Vance handled that pretty well.
Okay. I frankly disagree. I think that
you can that, and you're free to do so.
Sure, and I'll tell you why. I'll explain my reasoning why I disagree. So we watched this on my channel, right? And we went over and over and over again. So Trump was asked a question. Okay, Trump was asked a question. JD interjected. Okay, after Trump answered, JD interjected, and he started talking about diplomacy. This is where it went off the rails, to be clear. And talking about how Biden did poor diplomacy, but didn't even try diplomacy, but they're going to do diplomacy finally. JD, or not JD, I'm sorry, the other one, Zelensky. Zelensky interjected as well and asked JD a question. He asked, "Can I ask you a question?" Vance agreed and allowed him to ask the question. Zelensky then asked, "What do you mean by diplomacy?" And he goes through the series of deals that they have tried to make with Putin, over 25 ceasefire agreements that have been broken by Putin. And he asked simply, so what do you mean by diplomacy? Vance at that point exploded on Zelensky and started talking about how he should be more grateful, how he was being insulting. And that is, I think, the instigating factor in how it all went wrong. Where am I wrong in my reading?
Let me ask you, Wick. When I watch that, I find Zelensky's dress, his posture, I find it actually not the posturing and the first of all, you wear a suit when you go to the White House. I mean, come on. No, it's the White House. It's not your backyard. It's not a barbecue.
He was wearing for example, we don't make fun of the Saudis when they come in
turtleneck or
without suits on. When the Saudis come in with their traditional dress, Trump ain't, and neither Trump or Vance are giving them shit, right?
Come on,
neither of them are getting shit. But
those robes are like more than my car. But
however, the reason that Zelensky dresses the way
do you think that's equivalent though? To like someone's traditional, like, okay, let me ask this real quick.
Hold on, why do you think Zelensky's wearing what he does?
Well, hold on, because
let me answer my question. Why do you think Zelensky's in a tracksuit? or the suit, whatever it's called. I don't
Wants
know.
to look like
whatever, right?
Ukrainian.
Well, the reason, okay, fine. I guess I'll answer it with my question and an answer. I guess I don't know. When I look at the Saudis, I don't think it's a fair comparison. Whenever someone's using their expensive religious gear, that's like more expensive, like than my entire fucking house, for like just their robes, right? I don't think it's a fair comparison to say they're not dressed properly if it's religious and it's like expensive. Zelensky's wearing a tracksuit. I think this is a dumb thing that to be hung up on. I think he's wearing a tracksuit because it's convenient, and he's having to go to hella meetings in order to kiss the rings.
Okay, that's not why he wears it. So
like,
first of all, you're just wrong. That's not why he's wearing it.
I mean, I don't know. I also don't give a shit about what he wears. And Trump even said he liked his outfit. So this is just a talking point of like some conservatives.
Well, this is the one your fellow Grid says that he found disrespectful.
I do agree. Okay. I don't care about the outfit, but I do agree with Grid's other assessment, though, which is it starts it off at a very aggressive tone. I would never in a business come in there and be like I'm not going to try to pronounce Zelensky's first name, but I would never come in there and be like, Mr. Vol, however. I would be like, Mr. Zelensky, or same thing with Grid. I'd be like, Mr. Grid. I would never be like, hey, John the Baptist, how you doing? That's already starting off in a pretty aggressive, pick-me tone, especially among presidents. And I think it's very disrespectful. Now, okay, I'll let that slide. Maybe he's just, I don't know, not being English is not his first language. Okay, whatever. But then throughout the interview, he seems to take like pot shots anytime Trump or JD interject. And like, okay, I get that maybe. Hold on.
That pot shot.
Hold on. I will. Like when he goes, no. Have you ever been to Ukraine? That's the one that really kicked things off.
That was after
right?
It was kicked off. That was after the explosion came on.
But like, okay, he's like, oh, let me explain. He said that several times, Rick. Throughout, and it's kind of like Trump and them were just like, okay, it's very rude to like correct somebody.
You can't ask to explain something.
No, you should just be there going, okay, hey, listen, whatever Trump and them say in public is the deal, and then I'll correct them outside in private.
I do. Trump and Vance get to say whatever they want, but Zelensky has to be a little bitch and say it off camera.
I'll tell you why.
He's asking for money.
He's asking for money. Listen, if you're going to take our money, you are a bitch.
Bro. As to my knowledge, that meeting was about actually the opposite. It was about the U.S. as well, talking not just about a ceasefire, but also talking about the minerals. Is the U.S. talking about getting $500 billion? So this idea, excuse me. So this idea that he was just him begging for money. In fact, it was even by Donald Trump's bullshit statistics that don't exist. We haven't paid Ukraine $350 billion. Donald Trump was trying to extract $500 billion out of Zelensky. And I saw your eyes roll there, but I would love for you to provide me any official source at all that says we've even provided $300 billion, not even, let alone $350 billion. Go ahead, type away because it doesn't exist. All right. The highest amount that you're going to find is a max of $200 billion for the United States. Go ahead. Go ahead. Look for it, bro. I promise you. Go ahead. Look for it, dude. You'll be there all night.
While you look, let me just say this. Let me piggyback.
I don't really get what your point is.
But let me piggyback on what my comrade.
I'll dig that up. Just give me one thing. If I walk into your house and I ask to borrow $20, I put my feet up on your couch, and I treat you like you're my like I treat you very familiarly, maybe like my little brother or something. Are you going to give me $20?
Depends. Are we friends?
No. First of all, I mean, you called me a dictator, and then you also tried to extort me for $500 billion. So, like, probably not going to be on too good of a basis there when you call me a dictator when I got my country invaded by an actual dictator who you refuse to call a dictator. We're not starting at a good pace there. I don't know why you're acting like history started the moment he walked into the White House. And keep looking for that $350 billion. You'll be looking for a while.
Okay. Well, here's the deal with this. Here's a problem with this. Like the idea that that Zelensky had to be overly obsequious.
He should have groveled.
To grovel is wild to me. It benefits us to stand with Ukraine. America, my family benefits from that. The citizens, my neighbors, the people in my hometown benefit from that, right? Mm-hmm. Now, do I think Zelensky should be rude? No, but I don't think he was rude. I think it's perfectly fine when you are in an existential threat and you have Trump, you have Vance calling him a dictator, saying that they standing against him in the United Nations. Because let's take the context in this. The United Nations voted against a resolution naming Russia as the instigator of this conflict, as the aggressor in this conflict. This is a context Zelensky is coming in. God bless Zelensky for having the patience he did to put up with it for as long as he did. Vance, purposefully and with intent.
Well, let me ask
Purposefully
you
and with intent. Let me finish. Purposely and with intent torpedoed that talk. He's the one that started it. He started the fight purposely with intent. I've hosted hundreds of discussions. I've hosted hundreds of panels. I know what it fucking looks like when someone's trying to go off the rails here. I know what it fucking looks like when someone's trying to make some content and get some clips. I'm aware. That's an expertise I have. Vance did that on purpose. He went from 0 to 100 with no provocation. And even if you think that Zelensky's tone was wrong, the response from Vance was over the top, uncalled for, and undignified. I am ashamed of our country and how they behaved in this. Okay, now you can respond. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Because here's my thing, right? If Zelensky is taking all our money, let's say it's 200 billion, let's say it's 10 billion, let's say it's 1 billion, who gives a shit? I don't care. They're taking our money. We're the biggest provider, right? So if they're taking our money and their weapons, yada, yada, you should have some sort of level of deference. And I think this is why Republicans are bad about the tone, right? Y'all can sit here and say, oh, he shouldn't have to, yada, yada. But listen, this is not our war. It's debatable. Now, I know that you think it's better for us. I've already spoken how it does benefit me directly, right? So I'm with you on the boat. I think it's beneficial for America to support Ukraine, right? However, when I'm watching this, it's pretty clear to me that Zelensky feels like he's got a chip on his shoulder and he has something to prove. I less think it's maybe less purposely disrespectful and more that he was trying to play hardball because he thought Trump would respect hardball and failed. I think it was a bad tactical move.
He wasn't asking for anything. During that whole conversation, he didn't ask for a single thing.
Hold on. So, wait, here's my question I want, right, that you to answer. Say Trump really is trying to make a peace deal where both sides stop fighting, right? Let's just say hypothetically. If Zelensky is basically our dog in the fight, we've been providing the money, we would have to have some level of exertion of control over him. So say in the situation where he goes, okay, we got this deal with Russia. Russia's agreed to all our terms. And Zelensky goes, well, I won't accept if I'll accept. They say, I'm going to make hypothetical. Say they get all their land back. Russia pulls back, but under no circumstance can they ever join NATO.
Okay.
Right? They're like, all right, let's just say it. And Trump goes, this is the deal, we're making it.
Okay.
And Zelensky goes, no, I won't make that. We would have to have some level of influence to show that our deal has teeth. Correct? You would agree with that statement?
Yes, which is why it was
very
frustrating when the several reporters asked Trump, what will happen? What will you do? This was a direct question to Trump. What will you do if Russia breaks the deal? And Trump didn't have an answer.
No,
he didn't have an answer. He said, well, what if a bomb drops on my head? He did not answer that question.
That's like I hate to switch it to things, but this is like when leftists go, with the immunity with President Trump, what if he nukes Chicago? What if there's a flying spaghetti monster behind the moon?
That has nothing to do with that.
To be clear, there is historical precedent for Russia breaking these deals. This is nothing to do with the flying spaghetti monster. This is a prediction that, hey, the moon is going to come out tomorrow. This is a very, very predictable outcome of a ceasefire.
Personally,
it's incredibly
I agree, unless y'all want us to go to war with Russia.
No, you didn't agree. You literally just said, what if a flying spaghetti monster? So the reporter's question was valid. Hey, what happens if Russia did the same thing it's done numerous times over the last 10 years?
You're arguing about what if scenarios. What if?
I'm still waiting for that 350 billion, by the way.
I'm waiting.
What if after Trump does the Russia collapses tomorrow? Because due to internal pressure from the war falling apart because they're on a war economy. What if all sorts of things? We don't ever consider the opposite. And here's one more question: why do y'all want the U.S. Leaders to prostrate themselves to these other countries all the time? Whenever we're the ones,
I'm not asking. Hold on, we're not asking for the U.S. to prostrate themselves before Zelensky. What I am asking from my leaders is to be a fucking adult. To show some fucking decorum, to show some fucking self-respect, honestly and not act like baby Charmin-Shoff little bitches because someone didn't wear a suit. That shows weakness. It makes it's horrible diplomacy. It has lessened our standing in the world.
Compared to what? I mean, we literally had a president the last 4 years. We know
a lot of the alliances that we have, right?
What do you mean?
A lot of the influence we've built up with other countries, which we have deals, alliances, etc., have been shattered, and partly because of our poor performance. Trump has made us weaker. He is making us poorer. He is making America less.
This is ridiculous. No, this is the problem.
We can look at the facts.
We had 4 years recently of a Alzheimer's.
What barometer are you using to say America's stronger now?
We know for a fact.
Economy down. Now, alliances down.
Biden did have dementia going from day one of office. We know that now. Like that's not even really debated fact, right? So for the last 4 years, we've had a president who may not even know they were in the same room as the leader they were in, right? And y'all are going to sit here and tell me that now that we have a president with some backbone that's standing up and not letting these countries take advantage of us, that we're weaker? Ha! Good one.
We are.
No, I'm asking you for a very basic thing. Show me one barometer that shows that we're stronger. Economy down, alliances down, trade partners down. Respect, international respect, global respect down. Trust and faith in the people down. What barometer are you using?
I mean, the economy's been up for the last 4 months.
The
economy is down. The economy is literally in the shitter. And most economists are saying it's going to get worse. So I'll ask again, what barometer are you using?
I mean,
what do you mean? You can literally, hey, bro, you're the king of Google. Google the stock market right now. Type in S&P 500 in your browser.
I mean, listen, it's literally a 4-month low. So you're saying at Biden's
bro, you're coping. Give me a barometer that shows America's doing better right now.
Hold on. Are you arguing that it's lower than 4 months ago at the 4-month low? Because I can look at the graph. No. So you're coping.
The 4-month low.
3.5 years of Biden.
What are you talking about?
After 3.5 years of Biden, his best was equal to Trump, worse than since he got in office. And Trump's been improving.
No, I would look at Biden's trends. That's what I would look at, and then compensate for global inflation. That's what I would take a look at.
After 3.5 years of policy, Biden's best was Trump's worst. That's impressive. Good job. You got it.
What do you think happens when you take over an economy after somebody? What do you think happens?
You have to fix it.
Well, am I lagging? Or are you lagging?
That was me. I'm sorry. I hit the fucking wrong button.
No, I understand you, but
I think
I
Discord's
also had a bit of lag on my end
you all started lagging at the same time. Are we? I think we're good now.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I think we're good now. At least on my end, we're all back to normal. So go ahead.
I think it's some capitalists pay for.
But I guess here. Let me try this. Right.
To be clear, I'm a capitalist, but I actually understand how the markets work.
To be fair, you are more of a capitalist.
Where do you want me to drop this?
Put it in the group chat, please.
I mean, I'm literally a capitalist. There's no definition that I'm a socialist.
Yeah, put in the group chat that I added you all in. Right, just drop it in. There's been.
Right, it says that I have permission to
not the okay.
No, not here.
Not here. The DMs. Remember, I added you all to a group chat. Yeah. In DMs, you just drop it there. That's what. Please do. But here, I want to get off the Zelensky thing, but I do. It is something that does bother me. I'm going to be real with you. If you thought Zelensky was being disrespectful in that, I frankly don't believe you, and I don't trust your ability to discern human emotion. Or like you have it. His behavior wasn't offensive, yet Vance specifically. Now I'm not even talking about Trump here because Trump was fine until Vance blew up, right? Vance decided to take offense for no reason. For none. And that, again, it shows weakness on the world stage. We are trending down in every metric. I think Ahrelevant mentioned this. Every metric. Economically, the forecast for our GDP is going to... Do you understand what it means when the forecast for the GDP is at negative 2.8%, right? It's going to drop 2.8%. A recession is when the GDP stagnates, okay? What do you think it's called when the GDP drops?
I mean, it's a dip, first of all. I mean, I'm not convinced this is some kind of inflection of like the doom and gloom of the future. So like, let me ask you a question. 3 weeks ago when it was up, was I also wasn't in here going, Lordy, Wick, was there any indication that it's ever gonna go down? Wick, it's all good. Are you gonna? Would you have been saying that's a fair say? Literally, it dropped today. It's a dip. We haven't had multiple days.
Yeah, why did it dip?
It could correct.
Hold on, what happened recently that caused it to dip? If you had to guess. If you had to guess, what changed in the last, I don't know, 24, 48 hours that caused the stock market and the economy to start to trend down?
Some people made some predictions somewhere, and they think that's kind of like means that it's guaranteed to happen.
Are you disagreeing with the idea that America is not? Oh, I mean, I guess, yeah, you made the argument that you disagree with the idea that this will hurt the economy. And you think that every one of these economists and investors are all retarded. They have no idea what they're doing, and you're smarter. Okay?
I mean,
all right.
I guess.
I get it. All right, bro. I got you.
So, but here's the problem is we have to do all these mental gymnastics when we could just look at what happened. Trump announced he was going to do tariffs. That started the dip. He then implemented those tariffs. The dip continued. And
what was the logic a week ago? What was the logic a week ago when the economy was up? Like, what was the reason why
he hadn't implemented the tariffs yet?
Oh, but he told everybody he was going to, right?
No one believes him sometimes because he says a lot of shit.
No one believes him.
To be clear, he backed off. He backed off and delayed the things. There was speculation as to whether or not they were going to be put into place.
I hear from the left.
Are you not following the
brutal? Hold on. I know that. Yeah, I hear this thing from the left all the time. He's this brutal dictator who's going to enact all these things, or is it that they don't believe him? He's not going to do something. Which is it? Because we all knew he was going to do this, and the economy was up a week ago, and now
there are plenty of people.
To be clear, he backed off. He backed off after Mexico and Canada. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he delayed. He delayed them. Yeah, he delayed. Yeah, he delayed them. And so there was a lot of people who were speculating whether or not they'd even go into effect in the first place. Then when it looked like it was serious business,
and to add to that, Gibbs, we had a debate on this on your show where you claimed that the tariffs were simply a negotiating tactic. They were never going to be really implemented. No. He was just talking a big game. He was just talking a big game to get Canada and Mexico to do what he wants, but he was never going to actually do that.
Hold on, that's not what I said. I've
absolutely is.
I never said he wasn't willing to do it. That's something that's not true. I've unequivocally stood by the fact that I think Trump is willing to play economic chicken in order to get whatever he sees his goal at is. We know he's willing to do it. He's done it all throughout his career. So whenever he's threatened some people with a tariff, people should realize that he's willing to see it through. Now, do I think it's a negotiating tactic? Yeah, absolutely. I think it's more of a geopolitical tool than an economic one, personally, and I think there's a lot of evidence to support that. However, don't try to put words in my mouth to say that I was like, there's no chance, because there's absolutely a chance that he's willing to do what anything.
Say you said there was no chance, but let's go to this. Let's do this. I'm going to do super chats, and then I'm going to give it to Grid. Okay. $20 from Lawson Harrison. I want MAGA to tell me why I should file my taxes this year.
Sorry, what? Do you make it?
$20 from Lawson Harrison.
Have to pay taxes?
I want MAGA, I don't know, to tell me why I should file my taxes this year.
Do they get a refund? If they get a refund, yeah. Well, that too. But if they get a refund, then it doesn't matter if they pay taxes, because we're getting fucked by y'all.
Okay.
Can I not pay my taxes this year? That'd be fucking great.
Yeah, that'd be great. Can I not pay my tax? Oh, no, because y'all probably are going to need to hand out the bread and the snaps benefits.
$5 from Audacity. In what world is it a good idea to go into a peace talks and then cast aspersions or doubt on the plans that aren't even out of their infancy yet? I'll give this one to Ahrelevant.
Oh, I'm assuming this is about like Zelensky in that situation. The dispersions or doubts wasn't dispersions or doubts as much as it was an educated perspective as a result of historic precedent, right? So Russia historically did not respect any of the diplomacy that J.D. Vance and Trump was trying to communicate was the case. Oh yeah, no, you need to accept the ceasefire. And Ukraine was simply saying, hey, look, historically, Russia hasn't held to ceasefires. So we need guarantees. We need a guarantee that this time they're not going to break their end and then just start the conflict over once they've licked their wounds. And that to call that like going in like bad faith or in any manner, I think that's entirely illogical. Say again?
Are you sure that happened? Are you sure Putin always did that? Because I remember when Trump was in office, Putin did exactly what he said he was going to do because he respected the world leader. He didn't.
Trump was Putin during Trump's tenure in his first term. Putin was sending little green men over into the Donbass region, and they were killing each other. There was always murder happening and warfare happening, all during Trump's term. They tried several times in the Minsk Accords, the Minsk 1 and Minsk 2, right, to stop that, right, to do prisoner exchanges, etc. Putin laughed and just kept killing them. And didn't release prisoners, didn't do anything. He, to be fair, Trump wasn't a signatory on those. To be fair, Trump wasn't a signatory on those.
Ukrainians
in Europe, right? Ukrainian in Europe. But Putin didn't fucking care and kept killing them, and he laughed the whole time. So I think it's a fair question to ask: is why would he behave any different now?
Did he not stop his aggression?
No,
he didn't invade Ukraine. He invaded Ukraine during they took off their name tags and they went into Ukraine and they were fighting. It wasn't a full-scale invasion. But ever since 2014, they have had people in the Donbass region.
Let me use the circular logic that you're using right here, right? So you agree, you just said this, that it was not a full-scale invasion. They used a little green men. They used hybrid warfare. I'll agree with you.
It was skirmishes.
Sure, I'll agree with that. Yeah. If you agree, right, the reason that Putin invaded full scale is because he knew Trump had a hard red line at the time, and there was whatever. Now we have a new scenario, new problem, new scenario. They're already invaded, so Trump's not, his red line's been crossed because he's not in there. But the reason he invaded is because the point I brought up earlier is we had a soft-headed man being soft on foreign policy, and he knew that Biden couldn't direct from the top down to be aggressive enough to stop Russia. So that's where we got this piecemeal.
What should Biden have done to stop Russia?
Done what Trump did, apparently.
No, I'm asking you, what should Biden have done to stop Russia?
What did I just say? Did I stutter? If I did, you heard me twice.
No, I'm asking you very deliberately. Give me an action.
I'm giving you an actual answer.
Yeah, give me an actual answer. What should Biden have done or said? No, it's a completely
policy.
What policy?
What, you tell me. What did Trump do that kept him out?
No, I'm asking you. Give me a policy.
I'm asking you. You tell me. What? Why
no,
did Trump? Okay.
You said that Biden could have stopped the invasion. I'm asking you, how could Biden have stopped the invasion?
Okay, I will give you the answer for the fifth time.
Bro, you're a grown-ass man, bro. You pay taxes. You can't answer this question. Think about where you're sitting right now. Let me just take a second and be like, okay, you know what? Maybe I can't answer the question and back off. Okay, give me an actual policy. Give me an actual policy.
I'll give you one. I'll give you one that Trump did. He called out Zelensky and said, "Find me dirt on Hunter Biden, or we're going to pause aid and we're going to stop giving you money." That's what he did. That's the Trump policy, right? To threaten and blackmail Ukraine without their aid.
Hold on. You can agree. Hold on. You can agree. So hold on. He just didn't like. Hold on 1 second. Agree. He didn't. I'm going to give it right to you. He didn't like my answer, so he wants to bitch about it. I gave you an answer.
No, you haven't given me an answer. You haven't given me a policy. Give me
once again. Shh, I'm talking now. Listen. He said basically. I said he should have done what Trump did. Now, if you want me to powder your bottom, and
give me one of the things that Trump did that you think Biden should have done.
Grid and I,
bro, you're a grown-ass man. You know how English works. I know you do. If you want to keep looking dumb, you can. Just give me a policy. Also, brother below me, I'm still waiting for that 350.
Sources. Hold on, Grid and I are the only ones who provided sources this entire.
And that was just in cash, not war material.
Hold on, I just want to say
one more time, bro. Just give me that 350. I want that link. Give me that 350.
Grid and I are the only ones who have provided sources this entire.
You haven't provided shit for this, bro. What the fuck are you talking about? I just want give me one policy Biden should have done to stop the conflict.
This entire time.
Give me one policy.
You for sources multiple
times. Give me one policy.
You haven't provided.
Can you give me a claim that I needed to back up?
Yeah, I did. I did. He could have followed Trump's policy. I'm not going to encompass.
What was Trump's policy? Explain Trump's policy.
I'm not going to let him get away with this. You provide a source now of something Biden didn't do that Trump did, because Trump did all sorts of shit. I provided plenty of sources. Grid has provided sources.
What did
you provided?
Give me one.
Yeah,
I'll let Wick go.
Yo, what did Trump do? Explain it to me. I'm dumb. I'm big dumb.
Cool.
I'm a lefty. I'm
All
big
right,
dumb.
cool.
No brain. I'm stupid.
I'm going to tell you where you can read about it.
Explain
It's
Trump's
called
policy in
a
Ukraine
history
in his
book.
first term.
You can call it's called
That
check out a
prevented the
history
war.
book. Listen, I don't need to do all this right now. This is unfair framing. I wasn't here prepared to present this debate. However, that's fine. I will argue this because one, it's simple. Trump was showed with General Salami, and he got turned into salami, that he was not dicking around. He also in Syria, when the Wagner group attacked, he turned the SEALs loose and they beat the shit out of him. Then he bombed
Syria. That's a weird way to say
cruise
Ukraine.
missiles.
I'm still waiting on what
I
he
will
did to
show how they're
Ukraine
related.
to be
I will
able
show how they're
to
related.
correlate it to Biden.
You asked me
I
a
haven't heard
question, you don't
Ukraine
even let-
pronounced
No,
that way.
look,
That's
you
crazy.
asked
Still
me a
waiting on that
question.
350.
You
By
asked
the
me a
way.
question, you don't even let me get an answer. Well, hold on, but I want you to
Read,
provide
bro.
one source today,
You can't
Papa.
read, right?
One source today. You haven't provided jack shit. Secondly, so back to the Syria thing. He showed Russia because they were directly
Wait,
dangerous
the
to Russia.
source you gave says 196
Shut
billion.
the fuck up. Once again,
Yeah, that was only up to 22,
once
bro.
again,
And
who
that's only
cares?
cash.
I
That's
love
not
how he
war
answers my
material.
question, and then he
No,
just
that
tries to
isn't. That's
bulldoze me.
how much we've spent. That's our current intelligence
okay.
reports for how
Once
much
again,
we've spent.
These were direct conflicts
In
with Russia.
cash.
that
I'm still
we
waiting for a
had.
policy, bro. You can keep wasting
I'm
oxygen.
telling you,
In
I'm telling you.
22.
Listen, once again, this is a policy. He gave them aggressive negotiations. He beat their ass. He beat the Russian Wagner group in Syria. He dominated them with cruise missiles whenever we had a Russian incident. I don't know if you remember that. That seems like a policy. It's called military use. Check that out. Big brain right there. So there's two right off the top, and we could go through a more detailed thing how foreign policy with one country that's an ally to another country influences. I guess you didn't know this, but Iran and Russia are allies, big boy. They're again, so hurting Iran hurts Russia, and guess what? Thanks to Trump,
Ain't nobody
Iran
understand
is
what
in
the fuck you
shitter.
just said. Run back your statements.
I mean, we all understood it.
Because I
I'm sorry
also
that you're
was
not
going back and
intelligent
forth with
enough to put point
the
A to
dude
point
below
B
me who is
and figure it
still
out.
not giving me a source that
Yeah,
says
okay, cool.
350.
You're cool.
By the way, the
Now, do you have
196,
any
the 196
sources?
is
Do
a
you have any
modern
sources to
intelligence
refute
report.
anything I
If you
said?
want, I can get
Do
you
you
the
have any
modern
sources to
intelligence
refute anything I
reports,
said?
including the inspector general saying it's roughly 190 at this moment, not
You have no sources to refute
2022.
anything I said.
Give us
no
that
sources.
source,
That's
by the way.
articles from 2022.
I do.
Yeah,
I
give
want
us
to
any
see
sources to
that
refute anything I
source
said.
irrelevant.
Sure,
Trump
yeah.
policy
Just
wise.
just so we
I would
can
like
have that.
like that as well.
But hold on, if I may, because you're just going to keep talking until you hit upon a point or think you've hit upon a point. You're not really. You're just.
I've already hit a
throwing things
point.
at the
No, it's
wall.
not keep talking.
But
I hate
here's the
this
deal,
framing.
right? Here's
No,
the
wait,
deal.
that's
At the end
not
of the day,
bad
what
framing.
Trump
I gave a clear
here,
point. Y'all
Obama
don't understand
failed.
it doesn't mean it's not a
Obama
point.
failed to withhold the red line on Syria, on Crimea. I blame him for that. I think Obama holds a good deal of responsibility for our failures in Ukraine. Absolutely. Trump failed to do much anything. He did give javelins. That was great. But other than that, his only policy when it came to Ukraine was to, again, blackmail Zelensky to try to get dirt on Hunter Biden. Okay? That was his big thing. The reason that Putin waited until 2022 before going in, and this is admittedly speculation on my part. I am not a Putin mind reader, right? But he had been wanting to go in for a while, but he had to set the stage. Logistics for an invasion of this kind take a long, long time, years, in fact, to plan. And it's not something you can do overnight. You have to get everything in place. And even then, even with all that planning, they fucked it up in the first few days, right? And that's why the Ukraine was able to drive them off, drive them back, and they got bogged down in this current stalemate where they're in a war of attrition. But that's the problem with this whole conversation, is that it's fine that you don't know these things, right? It's fine that you don't understand the geopolitics at play. What's not fine is that it feels like Trump doesn't understand. And that's what's the problem here. Let me read these super chats. $50 from Lawson Harrison. Wick, at some point, what's happening isn't just content anymore, and you might have to make the choice between hosting legit discussions or having Gibbs and this other retard on. Really, you are all good. Thank you for the $50.
Hey.
$2 from Seattle. Really, has Gibbs pressed and blowing gaskets? Okay, I'm going to go through these real quick. $5 from Audacity. Are you just quoting the Georgia Fed forecast, blue chip survey forecast for rise in GDP? How do you square that circle? I trust one more than I do the other. $5 from the Trib 1. What else besides the MAGA talking points on Zelensky do Grid and Gibbs have an issue with? Probably nothing, I bet. You're aiding in USA destruction. $5 more from Trib1. Part 1. Not getting invited to your own peace deal, being labeled a dictator when you aren't, claiming Ukraine started the war are more disrespectful than $5 more. Part 2. What Zelensky did is actually not even close. If JD didn't do that and Trump didn't add on, neither Grid nor Gibbs would have a problem with it. $2 from Rizius. Churchill was just disrespecting the White House them, I guess. $10 from Feder Methodist. I know for a fact there was Russian meddling in the election. While waiting outside the polling station, a guy named Dmitry was handing out free shots of vodka. Part 2, $10 more from Feder Methodist. By the time I got inside, I was so drunk I could barely see. I went to the machine and voted. A $20 bill came out. Either that was an ATM or I voted for Jackson. $2 from Thomas Oliveris. Suits don't matter for asking questions. And then $2 from Nampan. Wick is right about tariffs. Thank you for the money. Okay, with that, Grid, I'm passing it to you. Go ahead.
Any particular, where do we want to pick up at?
Wherever
We have,
you
like,
want to pick up.
4 different
We are
things going
running
on here,
out of
Matt.
time, but I want to give you a chance.
We're running out of time. All right.
Yeah. Because again,
Okay.
the biggest thing, right, that we're talking about here is what is the State of the Union. So give me your best argument, and I want to hear this from all of you, right? And what's your best argument that the State of the Union is good?
My best argument that it's good?
Yeah.
Well, man, that's a long. I mean, there's a couple of good things here, but so mostly, I think that we have the right guy in the office. He's going to do the right things, and he's already proven that he will do them. In his first 30 days, he's done more than Biden did his entire term. He's already done a great number of things that have helped Americans and are going to continue. Yeah, we are suffering because of the almost 8% interest rate on real estate alone that we just came out of. Unfortunately, it's not dropping fast enough. In my opinion, I don't know. Honestly, don't know what would stimulate the economy so to move forward. But obviously, I mean, I don't know. I've got some theories. I'm buying businesses right now. I'm not buying real estate. I'm buying businesses. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not. I think real estate has some problems, but I mean, we do have a real estate fund, but that's beside the point. Yeah, man, I'm more optimistic than pessimistic. I think that Trump and J.D. Vance handled Zelensky's absolute disrespect as well as could possibly be handled. Especially when the man came up, knowing a deal was done, knowing they were working, all they really needed to do was go get some signatures, and he wants to put it out in front of the American people in such a way to try and make Trump look bad so that Trump will, cave at the table or something. Obviously, he doesn't understand Trump and his personality. That's not how you handle Trump at all. And, yeah, I think Zelensky fucked up. And you guys can believe what you want to believe. We'll see in the end who's right.
Where can people find you?
I'm at on YouTube. It's at GRID1-Motorsports. I'm the Unreasonable Man.
Okay, I have a link to his stuff on my YouTube description. It is under. You click on the description link, and it'll the guests, and you click on his link, and you can go and you can find him if you want to see. Thank you for being here. I do really appreciate you. Gibbs, your argument onto why the State of the Union is good, and then tell people where they can find you. Go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, one, Trump is based. The economy has been good up until today. We had one little hiccup. Don't go writing home to mama about a skinned knee. It's no big deal. Foreign policy wise, I get why people try to sit here and argue that I gish out because I know they don't understand the deep interconnected web of how different countries and how doing different things in Syria and dealing with Iran affects Russia. I know it's complicated, big brain stuff for them, and they want to cry and say gish galloping, and they're confused and I don't understand geopolitics. But the fact is, they're retarded, much like leftist economic policy is. If you like what I would say, you can find me everywhere as Admiral Gibbs. You'll see me tomorrow hosting a panel that Wick's going to be on. It's going to be real exciting, 7:30. It's going to be good stuff. We're going to be also talking about the State of the Union, but I think we're going to have a different direction. It's going to be real wild, I hope.
We'll see. Thank you for being here. Check him out if you want, gang. And that's 8:30 my time, so 8:30 Eastern for those of you who wanna watch. Finally, Ahrelevant, why is the State of the Union bad? and give us your argument, and then give us where we can find you.
Okay. I feel like this is very basic to not deny reality. You can take a look at the stock market, take a look at educated people about the economy. You can go to the grocery store and you can see why the State of the Union, at least economically, is not good. If you want to take a look at our trade partners, our allies, you can look at our relationships with them. Take a look at why the State of the Union is not good. You can look at the divisiveness, not only amongst the general public and the American people, but also in the media and how they're being kicked out of the Oval Office and Air Force One for saying the Gulf of Mexico isn't the Gulf of America. It's insane, some of these things, and then the justifications that people have for this type of behavior. Let me address some of the things that were said prior about the economy, right? The economy didn't just start doing poorly today. If you look the year to date, meaning the start of the year to now, we're down. If you look over the past 2 weeks, we've been sliding as a result of people feeling like, oh, these tariffs might actually happen. And then yesterday, you're seeing a bigger reaction because it's like, oh, it is serious. These are really coming in. Also, I want it noted that it has not been substantiated at $350 billion because guess what? It doesn't exist. Trump lied about the $350 billion. It's not the case. The most bold estimates that anybody can possibly find is a max of $220 billion from the United States of America. And this is even so much true that if you ask AI right now, not even just do the very basic, very minimal research you can do right now. If you ask AI right now, they will tell you, we do not know where Trump got this number from. It's a miscalculation. It can't even show you. So to this idea that he's going around not telling lies about our allies, causing massive issues for trade and the economy, I mean, it's just delusional. Literally, again, the sky's not green, the sky's blue.
Where can people find you?
Sorry. At AH, letters A and H, relevant, all platforms.
Are you going to be streaming after this?
Yeah, I will.
I'll raid into you on Twitch, because you raided into me
Thanks.
yesterday on Kick, so I'll return the favor on Twitch. I don't have any viewers on Kick. I have 2, which I love both of you who are watching me on Kick. Okay, gang, I'll give you my closing argument since Visora had to leave, I guess.
Rage quit.
And then we'll end the show. Here's the deal. In the next year, because I think it's important to make predictions so we can see how whether you should trust people in the future. Okay. So let me make a prediction right now. If things continue to go as they are and Trump continues to implement the policies that he has been, in the next year, you're going to have less spending power. You're going to be able to buy less with the same amount of money, right? Many of you are going to lose your job. We are going to be less safe than we ever were. We're going to see wars and rumors of wars, small internecine conflicts within countries, as well as country between country conflicts happen because, again, we have shown that America can no longer be trusted to uphold the international rule-based order, and that is going to have desultory consequences for us here at home. We're going to have less access to goods and services. Everything that you buy is going to be more expensive, and when you travel, you are going to be in more danger than you were. Clip it, ship it. We'll get back to each other in a year. Can we still right this ship? Yes. If Trump backs off his tariffs, if Trump makes good on his promises of peace in Ukraine, if Trump actually backs our allies and stops punishing them, and then stops rewarding our enemies, perhaps my prediction will not come true. But we'll see, right? I don't have faith in Trump. I don't think that will happen. I think we are weaker than we have ever been in the last 20 years, and I hope to God that we can write this course. Okay, gang, if you like what I have to say, if you enjoyed the show, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube. If you want to see any of these people, all their links are in my YouTube description. If you're following me on Twitch or on Kick, hit that follow button. We're going to raid out into Ahrelevant, if I could spell his name right. And we will see you guys tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Now, also, if tonight's joint session of Congress If it goes crazy, I might have a reaction panel after. We'll see how I feel. Cool, gang? Cool. Wait, bye-bye, everyone. Okay, we're done.